What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be, however you may be watching? Thank you so much for your patience and for giving us a little bit of your time. Coming to you live for the very final time from Discord, because that whole thing was just made by absolutely fucking cunts. I am so tired of dealing with Discord. Enjoy us on Discord now, because we're never going to be live on Discord ever again. I am most certainly making the switch over to Skype next week, because I am tired of this platform and all of the garbage that it gives me. But we're finally here, after an hour of me having to deal with some technical difficulties, as per usual for the stream, to be perfectly honest. But plenty to talk about today. The breakdown of everything that came from Comic-Con, all the stuff that happened, a few things that didn't happen that were very, very surprising. And here to talk to me about it with me is my hetero life mate, Jeremy. What's up with you today, my brother?
I don't know, it just seems like everything in the last, like, 6 hours has just been really trying my fucking patience, so I'm right there with you. I had to secondhand experience your rage, but I understand it because I'm just left sitting here as well, frustrated as shit, so.
But we have plenty of good things to talk about as well. Don't forget.
Sure.
There's plenty of really cool things that happened in Comic-Con over the weekend that we can talk about. Here to talk about them with me also is the Shape from down south, the Lone Star State. My man Tex, what's up with you, my brother?
Oh, not much. Just sitting here watching you curse the internet and everything that's ever existed.
Yes.
It's,
I'm,
this is,
I'm waiting.
if I ever make a saw trap for you, I'm just going to put your laptop in your lap and it doesn't work.
That might do it. that might actually do it.
Since I don't see Frank's video feed on Discord, so I'm just gonna hear a gunshot and I know exactly what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a pistol with one bullet. Yeah, I'm going to give him a pistol with one bullet and his laptop and says he either, has to fix a computer or else, there will be blood the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to go down.
Well, you got to do like Carrie Hughes in the first movie. You got to like chain me to my laptop and be like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Only one way to get away from it. At that point, I'll just go ahead and saw my own head off and be like, yeah, I'm done. Just start right here and start cutting away. But plenty of stuff to go into tonight. A little bit of breaking news as well that dropped really just like, an hour ago. Something that was very big news that came out of nowhere, something I did not expect. We'll go to that first, and I was going to have a graphic up for it, but all I've got really is this. It's breaking that now Aquaman 2 will not only have Aquaman and that person that everybody hates, Amber Heard. It's also going to be getting an appearance from Affleck. This dropped just an hour ago. That let's see, the guy that plays Aquaman, Arthur Curry. Why am I trying to play? Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa just released on social media that yes, in fact, Ben Affleck will be reprising his role as Batman in Aquaman 2. Now, I can't imagine that that Batman would be a significant character in the movie, but he's in it. Which just the fact that he's in it raises a couple of questions to me, because we all thought that Ben Affleck was 100% done with the DCEU. So then the news comes that he's actually going to be making an appearance in the Flash film, because it's going to have the whole Flashpoint paradox is going to be a big inspiration for that movie. But now that he's going to be in this as well, I mean, not only is it very cool that we're going to see him again, but does this start the speculation that maybe Ben Affleck will come back in some facet and continue to don the cowl? Tex, what do you think?
First of all, hashtag make the Batfleck movie. Let's get that trending, y'all, because this is some good fucking news right here. We're getting back the Batman, not Keaton. He's great. He's a legend, of course, But Pattinson, he sucks. We got Ben Affleck Batman back. Even if it's just for a morsel, we need to go support this movie. Warner Brothers is going to get all my money for this thing, just for those few possible moments of Affleck Batman. So I'm fucking jacked. I could not be any more happy. So let's do this thing.
Jeremy, what do you think? Affleck back, maybe just a cameo, maybe something more. We don't really know. What do you think of the news?
I mean, I never know what to believe anymore, I don't know. We kind of, it seems obvious when we watch Spider-Man No Way Home Like Andrew Garfield's like, I'm not in the movie, 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 I'm not in the movie. He shows the fuck up. I'm like, yeah, well, I knew that was a lie. But this seemed like it was more true. Like, oh yeah, he's done. Because I mean, there's the sad Affleck meme where he's sitting next to Henry Cavill. He looks like he just wants to end his life. He's talking about how he made this really wicked script for I think it was for Justice League or something, or he made a Batman movie, and that's never really seen the light of day now, which really sucks. Because I mean, he believed in it. He said it was fucking fire. So I don't know. At least him being there, we've seen him interact with Jason Momoa's Arthur Curry. So I don't know what this means, but I mean, hey, if he's back, whatever. I'm not going to be mad about it. I mean, I can maybe I can't even bring myself to say it. I was gonna say I could maybe stand myself to ignore Amber Heard being in the movie, but I really can't. I was trying to say it, but the words just wouldn't fucking come out.
Well, I mean,
whatever
about Amber Heard.
They put out the 4 hour. I went to watch the 4 hour fucking Snyder cut like in a theater, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't say like she was getting her ass kicked in that fight when not Darkseid, fucking Steppenwolf tried to come in there and grab the box. And people were like fucking cheering. I was like, yeah, kick her ass. Fuck you. It was funny. It was pretty great. And the movie even like skipped a little bit. It stopped like right when she was getting like fucking punched. And I was like, no, rewind it. I want to see it again. Whatever.
Yeah, this is exciting to me for a couple of reasons. Because another piece of news dropped in the last 24 hours I think is very, very interesting. For those of you who know the executives in Hollywood, there's a guy named Alan Horn who Bob Iger talked into coming out of retirement to run Disney for a while, to run a lot of the creative stuff at Disney. Alan Horn is one of the people that helped shepherd the growth of the MCU, and I think we can all agree it's been extremely successful to this point. So now Alan Horn who was talking about leaving Disney anyway, has now joined Warner Brothers. And now you take that into account with the fact that David Zaslav, who is now running everything at Warner Brothers, he's the end all. He is the everything over there. He goes and gets this guy who helps build the MCU. They have the DCEU, which is kind of in this weird state of flux, but a lot of people are kind of confident in the fact that there are some people in the upper echelon of management there that are actually going to take care and shepherd this entertainment universe that they've tried to create. That to me is very, very promising, because a lot of people, they look at things like Wonder Woman's done pretty well. I like Wonder Woman 84 a lot more than most people did, but the two Wonder Woman movies done well. Aquaman did well. Shazam's done well. The first Shazam movie did well. We'll be talking about the trailers for Shazam and Black Adam here in a minute, but the Shazam and Black Adam look very, very good. They look very promising. So they're on pretty decent footing right now, Warner Brothers, moving forward with the DC stuff. So this, to me, is probably a good sign, because I'm wondering if maybe David Zaslav or somebody else with Warner Brothers didn't sit down with Affleck and say, look, we're the new guys. All the guys that you dealt with that end up shitting all over the supposedly fantastic script that he had for his Batman movie that he was going to direct and star in and write, all the people that ran that out and were such problems to deal with, they're all gone now. So maybe they went to him and said, hey, maybe this relationship can still be fixed now that we're here and you're not dealing with the other people. What do you say we sit down and talk about this? Now, granted, Aquaman and all this stuff went into production before Zaslav and all these guys took over, but I have to wonder if the fact that he's popping up in a couple of different things as Bruce Wayne and Batman, maybe that does leave the door open for a return of Batfleck. Now, again, to me, it's obviously breaking news that he's going to be in Aquaman 2. It's obviously a good thing. And I don't think he's going to be a huge part of the film. He might show up. There's going to be some banter back and forth between him and Arthur Curry, and it's going to be fun. Maybe it's going to be a glorified cameo towards the end. I don't think he's going to be there for the final battle or anything like that. But
maybe he'll be like the Tony Stark. Like, he just kind of shows up. Like, he goes and finds Spider-Man. He goes and talks to this person.
Maybe.
Same kind of deal.
Maybe. Yeah. But I do wonder if maybe this doesn't kind of open the door and create a different path for maybe Ben Affleck to come back and to continue on as Bruce Wayne and Batman. I mean, Christ, we've got... Look, DC is obviously not afraid of having 37 different variations of their characters running around on screen right now. I personally think that's a terrible mistake to dilute your product, but whatever, they're doing it anyway. There's going to be more Joker movies, all this and that. There's all the animated stuff that they've constantly done. So So maybe they're just thinking, screw it. We're going to throw caution to the wind. We're going to see if Ben Affleck wants to come back and give us 1 or 2 more movies. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm taking from all this. Again, this is all breaking news. The only thing we've really got out of all this is like Jason Momoa put a tweet or an Instagram post out there saying we tried to keep it secret. We couldn't keep it secret anymore. I don't know why you would have because look, this wouldn't have been a bad bomb to drop at Comic-Con. Why you wait till 4 or 5 days after Comic-Con's over?
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand that.
That would have been perfect.
Can you imagine? Now, look, we'll talk about it later on, but I mean, this concept that was going around for the last week or so that Henry Cavill was going to be showing up on stage, and they were going to officially announce his return. Wouldn't it have been every bit as huge for Jason Momoa to walk out there with Ben Affleck and say, "Hey, my buddy right here has decided to shoot a few more scenes, and he's going to be in Aquaman 2"? Wouldn't that have been a huge pop at Comic-Con? I don't think they would have won. I don't think they would have won Comic-Con. But I mean, that would have been huge. That would have been big news. I mean, why?
Maybe this either happened like really recently, or maybe they were trying to keep it hush hush, and it just didn't. I mean, maybe just kind of. Well, remember, we've always said nothing leaks anymore. Maybe something kind of got out there, and it's like, fuck it, whatever. Here we go. Because he did say we tried to keep it secret. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to make a big like, hey, you want to get that reaction of. I mean, now that everybody knows it. But we don't know what it is, to be fair. We don't know what part he plays in the movie. But if it had just been a straight up, we all keep hearing that he's not Batman anymore, then all of a sudden we see him in the movie, and that'd blow your damn mind just alone. That right there. I don't know.
Well, if you go back to the Michael Keaton stuff with Batman, he was supposed to kind of take over the Bruce Wayne role going forward, if you believe those rumors or whatever. But maybe the new guys at Warner Brothers are like, hey, a 75-year-old Batman is probably not the best choice. Maybe we go with the one that's still young enough to do something and doesn't have to be the guy that plans stuff and whatever. Yes, and I know Batman Beyond. I know. But
I was gonna say not like old Batman isn't still a badass.
Oh no, I prefer old Batman. Like I said, I like a Dark Knight Returns style Batman.
Yeah, I like old Batman that kills people because he doesn't give a shit anymore. I love that.
He doesn't have to be Batman Beyond where he's 80 and Terry McGinnis has to bring him his medication because he can't open a pill bottle. I don't want to see that Batman. I want the Batman that's angry and just wants to, crush people's faces in. That's my Batman.
Right.
But I don't know. Right. I mean, with this Affleck news, it would have been huge. If Warner Brothers had marched him out and said, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, well, I'm in Aquaman too. You didn't know? Because if you go back and watch the Twitter video or Instagram, whatever, it's literally Jason Momoa walking around laughing and says, oh, we can't keep it secret anymore. He shows the trailer and it's got BA on it for Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck sitting there in a black tuxedo. So they obviously did this on purpose. This wasn't accidentally done. He didn't accidentally walk into the trailer and show Ben Affleck on his phone camera. He's not that stupid. Yeah. So this was done intentionally.
He's in a tux. He was being he just walked out the set of being Bruce Wayne for a scene or something.
Hey, it very well could be. It could just be Bruce Wayne, not Batman. That's very possible. Much like, go back and look at the original Suicide Squad movie. There were a couple scenes of Batman in the beginning. Then at the end, you had Bruce Wayne sitting down with Amanda Waller saying, like, if you don't close this down, me and my friends will. And he had the files of all the Justice League members.
Yeah, he's like, well, I've got a team.
Right. It could be something like that to rebuild to a future because, Warner Brothers has got to do something. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but
maybe they'll actually do more like that was in the Snyder Cut, like actually show Martian Manhunter who comes down and talks to Bruce Wayne. Like, hey, I got some more people for you. I'm like, holy shit, I hope you do.
Or
God,
how about that? Or how about that John Stewart Green Lantern footage that was shot because Zack Snyder tweeted it out and showed everybody. They actually finished all of the graphics and everything else. Who was originally supposed to be into that film, but Warner Brothers said no, but you can use Martian Manhunter. So hey, why not both? I'm down for each of them. I like both of the characters.
We get a proper Justice League together, and I'm fucking ready.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, let's do this thing.
Yeah, but I'm sure more about this is going to come out in the coming weeks. I mean, it's very, very interesting. I mean, Aquaman comes out when? Next spring, I believe?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the.
I thought it was
schedule in front of me.
Thanksgiving that came out. Oh wait, no, it got bumped. It got bumped.
So I
Thanks,
think it may
Amber.
be next spring. But yeah, so I mean, we're gonna know something more hopefully soon, because it's not entirely that far away. Now, we're obviously not going to be getting a trailer until probably, I think, honestly, I think looking forward a little bit. I know football season hasn't quite started yet, but I think probably Super Bowl. This sounds like it might be a Super Bowl trailer. Yeah. But going to what you guys are saying in the chat, Mr. Marvel, my man Connor, what's up, brother? Said could be just a flashback, maybe a scene in Justice League. I don't think they would have dropped an announcement like that on a social media page just for a cameo. I think they would just let it sit. They probably wouldn't mention it at all.
Of something we've already seen.
But again, I'm not saying that he was on there filming for like several weeks. He probably went there, filmed a couple of scenes over a couple of days, and was done. So it's probably something new. Whether how significant it is to the film, we're not going to know until we see it. But I have a feeling it's not going to be just a flashback. It'll be something, at least something important to Aquaman's story in this movie. Maybe or maybe not something that says he's going to go on and be Batman more, but maybe something, I don't know. He also says could start to actually form a consistency in the DCEU. Well, I mean, what storyline? We've got 12 Batmen, 3 Jokers.
Which universe do you want to go to?
Yeah, I mean, it's that. Look, I think it's a terrible mistake what they're doing. I think it's going to dilute your product. I think it's going to confuse a lot of people.
You quit hating on multiverses,
that's the thing is, this isn't multiverses. It's like if there was some multiverse that brought Ben Affleck's Batman together with Adam West's Batman, with Michael Keaton's Batman, with Robert Pattinson's Batman, if that was something they were doing, that would make some kind of sense.
Well,
but
I mean,
there's not a multiverse thing. They're just doing different storylines. They're treating the movies like they're comic books. You're going to have 3 different storylines going at the same time that have absolutely nothing to do with one another. And that to me is
treating comic book superheroes like comic books. What the fuck?
No, they're treating the movies like comic books. The problem is that comic books and movies are very different mediums. Stories are told in a very different way.
Did I tell them about this thing called Marvel?
But what's Marvel doing? They're not direct adaptations of the comic books. They're cherry-picking little details and building a whole new universe around them. They're not direct adaptations of the comics.
Well, like Walking Dead is not exactly the same either as the comics, but I mean, it's got the elements of shit that's in there.
That's what I'm saying, because they're different mediums. They're different ways of telling the story. The way you tell a story in comics does not work in movie form. The way you tell a story in movies does not work in book form. That's why books and movies are always, even though they're about, like Harry Potter, for example. I mean, the books are very different from the movies because in the book you tell stories differently than you would on screen. And so you have to change some things around. But it's like, I guess they just think that they can have 25 different Batmen running around the movie theaters and it's going to be okay, that everybody's going to go see them all. I got to be honest, if I have to choose between Ben Affleck's Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman, sorry, Pats. It's like, I liked the Batman. It was a good movie. It was a very grounded version of Batman. It was finally the detective Batman that I haven't really seen. But I'm sorry, I'm running to Ben Affleck. But if I have to choose between the two, I'm going to Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I've said it several times. I know I ate my own damn words when I first heard that. I was like, really? This guy's being Batman? Oh boy. And then, hey, you know what? You proved me wrong.
Yeah, but I don't know. Go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Ben Affleck is coming back for at least a small appearance in Aquaman 2, whatever the hell the subtitle is. I forget what it's called. But, yeah, Atlantis by, I don't know, whatever. It's going to be Aquaman 2, Screw Amber Heard. We're just going to call it that from now on.
Aquaman 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Hey, I'll take that too. Hey, Canon Pictures made some great movies in the 80s. American Ninja. Enough said.
Oh, man.
There you go.
But yeah, go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Ben Affleck is coming back yet again for a small role in Aquaman 2. Let us know what you guys think about all that news. But we are going to transition over to kind of a sad story. Paul Sorvino, the imposing actor whose roles ranged from mob bosses in Goodfellas to an early stint on the long-running cop drama Law & Order, has passed away. Sorvino died on Monday of natural causes with his wife Dee Dee by his side. Sorvino is perhaps best remembered for director Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas as Paul Cicero, the mobster who even in prison retained a passion for cooking and fine cuisine, thinly slicing garlic with a razor blade. Sorvino and his wife later co-wrote the book Pinot, Pasta, and Parties. Sorvino is survived by his wife and 3 children, including actress Mira Sorvino, and 5 grandchildren. I'll go to you first, Tex. What are some of your thoughts on the career of Paul Sorvino?
Obviously a legendary actor. Rest in peace to him, and my sympathies to his family, of course. So many long-lasting memories. my personal role of his, very understated, and I've never been a musical guy, but Repo, the Genetic Opera. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that film or not, but it's basically like it's like a horror type film set in the future where organ failure is like massive and everything else. So the Paul Sorvino, I forget his role in the film, he comes up with a gene code, and basically he takes body parts out of other people and rents them or sells them to other people. And if you can't pay for it, they come repo them. That's why the title of the film.
It's interesting you say that because Paul Sorvino actually trained in opera in his youth. That was one of the things he thought about doing was being an opera singer.
That makes sense.
It was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, the guy that did Saw 2, 3, and 4. And basically, it's a very much a departure for something that I would be into. But obviously, Goodfellas and other films, he was one of those recognizable guys. I mean, when you saw him, you recognized him. He was a movie star. Even if you didn't know, I know your name. You knew that face. You knew you had seen him and stuff. What so many people these days can't say that. So it's a tragedy. It's a loss. And it seems like a lot of these old heads are going all at the same time here this year. I mean, it's sad to see. So appreciate them while they're here, I guess.
Jeremy, what do you think?
Yeah, see, I'm going to go a different route with it. Of course. Because I think I mentioned it in our chat. I was like, weirdly, I mean, it's like he said, Tex said, like, it's like for a long time I didn't know what his name was. I mean, I just like, but I know who that guy is. I've seen his face before. I've seen this guy. Like, if I wanted to think about like somebody in a mobster movie, I'd think of like Ray Liotta, who we were talking about, who passed away recently as well, or what the hell is his what the hell's his name? I'm fucking blanking. The short dude from Goodfellas.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci?
Don't kick my ass, Joe Pesci. I love you. Please don't. I do think you're actually a funny guy, and don't ask me funny how.
6 and 8.
Funny how? I'm a clown. I amuse you.
Do I make you laugh? Am I funny? Yeah. I can't do an Italian accent.
Yeah. So anyway, like or even like someone like De Niro or Pacino. He's up there, but weirdly, the first thing I thought of was this may just be me personally, but like the kind of weird rendition of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. He played Juliet's father, and I don't know why that's where my mind went first. And it's funny you said something about the opera thing, because I'm like, there's just the weird scene where they're all having the party, like where Romeo and Juliet meet for the first time, but like, there's like, I just thought, okay, this is some weird drug-induced like party going on. But Paul Sorvino's over there just like killing it on some vocals, like some opera fucking singing, just going to town. I was like, this is weird, but I didn't know that, so that makes more sense now in context, and context is very important in that movie, because you're still spitting out like old school Shakespeare dialogue in a movie where they replace the swords with guns and the horses with cars and shit. And I'm like, I love this movie, and I don't know why. It's just a lot of fun. But that's But we were talking about range. You want to talk about like a mobster that chops up fucking garlic and like you said, repos people's organs to, I mean, some weird modern version of Shakespeare. I mean, I couldn't say that. I have never done that before in my life, so.
Yeah, I've said a million times on this show, I love people who act with their eyes and their facial expressions. Like they move one little muscle in their face, and the entire context and complexity of the scene can be altered. I'll put this picture up here again real quick. It's like, I remember, and this is one of the scenes I believe from Goodfellas. It's like when he stands there and stares into the camera, as I watch something like that on my screen, it feels like he's staring into my soul. It's like he's one of those people.
Yeah.
And there was two things that kind of popped into my head earlier as I was thinking about Paul Sorvino. One is the range. Range is important for an actor. If you get typecast into one thing, your career can kind of never really be viewed the way you maybe want it to be viewed. But this guy, I mean, while known obviously for the character, for the mob characters and some other stuff, so one movie that is fun to watch. It's not the best baseball movie ever made. It's not the best anything really ever made, but it's a fun movie. Is Mr. 3000. He plays the manager of the Brewers in Mr. 3000. And he does not say a fucking word until the last, 5 minutes of that movie. He sits there at the end of the dugout, and there's obvious tension between him and Bernie Mac's character because he was the manager of the team when Bernie Mac just up and suddenly retired earlier in the film. And then there's a scene towards the end of the movie where Bernie Mac makes his way to the end of the dugout, and he apologizes to his manager, to Sorvino's character, for running out on the team and all that. And Sorvino doesn't say a word, doesn't look at him, doesn't do anything. You can tell he's taking it all in, but he's just sitting there staring at the game, just watching everything. And then later on in the movie, after not saying a word for the entire hour and a half of the film, he decides he wants to go out there after a bad call and blow up on the umpire. And for those of you who are baseball fans, it's one of the funnest things to watch, as long as it doesn't cross a line. Is umpires yelling, his managers yelling at umpires, and he just blows up on this umpire and starts screaming at him over a bad call. That was the entire movie. He's just there existing as Paul Sorvino, and now he speaks. But still, the scenes that he's in without speaking, he brings an intensity without saying a word. And I'm like, who can do that? What? How many? There's a handful of actors in the 100-and-something year history of acting that have ever been able to pull that off like he did in that movie. And I know the movie itself is kind of a whatever movie. It's not, like I said, it's not exactly Field of Dreams. It's not The Natural. It's a fun, goofy Bernie Mac thing. But I mean, just to watch him in it, I'm like, good God, that guy just sitting there and staring at somebody. He says so much without opening his mouth. The other moment that stands out to me when it comes to Paul Sorvino is not even a moment was acting. I remember several years ago, actually, his daughter Mira won an Oscar, and she's up there giving her Oscar speech. She's talking about her dad, who was sitting in the crowd watching, and you can actually go find this on YouTube. I think it's been getting a lot of traffic the last couple of days since the news of his passing. But he's sitting there leaning into it, and he's got his hands right here, and he's crying because he's up there watching his daughter doing this thing. It's like she won an Oscar, and I don't think I think he may have gotten nominated once or twice, but I don't think he ever won a major award, like an Oscar or anything like that. But I mean, he's up there crying because his daughter is up there, and she just hit the pinnacle of what every actor wants to hit. And she's up there talking about, hey, thank you, Dad, for all of your support, everything you've taught me. And he's genuinely emotionally moved by his daughter hitting that peak. And I was like, that to me, father-daughter moment to me, was one of the most defining things I've ever seen. It's because so many people would have been like, he deserved one before her. He's been acting for a while. He's been in great movies. All those things true, but it's just in that moment, none of that mattered. He was just a guy watching his daughter hit this great milestone that all actors try to achieve, and it just blew me away. And you can go find it on YouTube. I know they've been putting it up on like when you search Paul Sorvino, it's been coming up in a couple of searches. But I remember watching that years and years and years ago. I remember watching a little bit of an Oscars one year because I was trying to see who won some award. I just happened to catch that part, and I was like, "Damn, that is awesome." It is one of those great moments in Hollywood history that when you don't even understand it while it's happening. It's like you think about it years later and you're like, "Holy shit, that's important. That's so great." But as it's happening, it's just blowing you away. But yeah, Paul Sorvino was a fantastic actor. I hope that you guys go back and check out some of his stuff. Man, we've lost. Dude, look, I love mob movies. I've said for all my life, I think that everybody wants to be a mobster secretly. It's like everybody watches The Godfather or Goodfellas or Casino, and you're like, damn, I would love to live in that world. One of the craziest things I've ever seen is in Goodfellas when Ray Liotta and his wife walk into the club, and they carry a table up to the very front and set it up for him and his wife right then. I'm like, I want to be that important anywhere. It's like who doesn't want to live like that? Come on, but.
We're all doing the Ray Liotta line for as long as I can remember. Yeah. I always wanted to be a gangster.
Always wanted to be a gangster. All my life. All I ever wanted to be was a gangster.
If you ever say that you're in waste management, we know what you're really doing. That's what's going on, Frank.
Yeah. It's just a car crushing business. It's fun. It's a junkyard. You run a pig farm on the side? Okay.
Yeah, there's no dead bodies in these cars. It's all just junk. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Here's 20, about it. Here's 20 grand, officer. Look the other way. But yeah, I don't know what else to tell you guys about Parth Sorvino, except that he was a fantastic actor. And Mira Sorvino herself has also been very, very good. She's done a couple of sci-fi things that are fantastic. So, yeah, go down in the comments below. Let us know some of your guys' memories of Paul Sorvino. A fantastic actor. A lot of the mobster movies, these guys have been dying lately. I mean, we just lost James Caan from The Godfather with Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Paul Sorvino, the guy from Sopranos. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? I almost called
Polly.
the guy that played Polly Walnuts.
Yeah, Polly.
Yeah.
He just passed away.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, mobster movies are such. Oh God, it just that whole lifestyle lends itself to filmmaking. I don't know if they were thinking of this as the mobs were coming to be and becoming a thing like in the early 1900s, or what they would eventually become through the 30s and 40s. But God, it just lends itself to cinema. There's such crazy stories.
One of my favorite video game series is the Mafia series, and they're coming out with a prequel soon. And I am beyond excited.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited for that.
But go down in the comments below. Share some of your memories of Paul Sorvino and his great career. Now let's move on to what's going to dominate. I'm pretty sure the rest of the show. Plenty of talk to go on about San Diego Comic-Con, which is now concluded. And we are all left to ponder the news and the trailers that came out from this annual event. Marvel once again dominated the weekend with its panels, while DC struggled a bit to market some of its films, mostly because of the troubles that plague its stars off-camera. Nonetheless, all the studios gave presentations to full crowds for the first time in 2 years due to the COVID pandemic. And the event was an overwhelming success. Jeremy, I'll start with you. I mean, where do we begin to break it all down?
What should we start with? Look at the thumbnail. Shit, I don't know. Let's start with Black Adam, I guess. Since we're on go left to right. Maybe Black Adam Shazam, and I'm saying Shazam, and I'm gonna out myself. I'm like, I didn't actually see the Shazam trailer, so yikes. Well, I guess overall, shit, I got to sit down. I didn't really get to watch anything, but I sat down and watched the 400 fucking trailers that all came out for a whole bunch of crap, for Wakanda, for shit, even John Wick. Was there one for Guardians?
No, they had they had some footage there, but it was Comic-Con specific. Okay. They didn't release it publicly because James Gunn came out later and said that a lot of the footage wasn't finished, special effects and stuff like that. So they were just showing it as a sizzle reel rather than to release any of it publicly.
And whoever the hell it was that tried to sit there and act like there was a Indiana Jones 5 trailer, and you just put the Indiana Jones 4 trailer, and then that one damn still of Harrison Ford walking across the bridge. Fuck you. I started to watch it, and I'm like, this is the trailer for the 4th movie. This is the trailer for the 4th movie, right? What are we doing? This is not this. Nope, that's not it. You're an ass. Okay. Wow, clickbait. It didn't work. I don't know. Let's throw a dart, pick a trailer, and let's fucking discuss something. I don't know. I guess my biggest question is, what are we... It's gonna be vague. You're not gonna fucking tell us, but what's going on with the world of Wakanda? Because they showed a suit there at the end, and somebody flipped out the claws, and I'm like...
Well, hold on. Were you talking about the DC stuff, or are you going into Marvel already?
I'm going into Marvel. Let's just get it out of the fucking way.
Well, let's concentrate on the DC stuff for a minute, because there's going to be a lot less to say about DC.
I even said not Marvel. Me of all people said, let's just go with Marvel. Fuck it.
But, because DC had some stuff, and there is some stuff to talk about. For one, the Shazam trailer was dope. I love the Shazam trailer. I think Shazam, the first movie, I thought was really fun to watch. I'm excited for the sequel. Helen Mirren looks dope as fuck as the bad guy, as the villainess. I love it.
And Lucy Liu.
I was just about to mention her. Lucy Liu also looks really good. It's going to be interesting to see all that work out, and I'm interested to see how, because these movies, if they kind of go the Marvel way of doing things finally, which I hope they kind of do, they take from Marvel's template to build their universe. I'm interested to see what kind of nuggets they give us to give us hints as to where the DCEU is going from here. Because there could be, I don't know, which one comes out? Shazam comes out before Black Adam, right? Do I have that right? I don't know off the top of my head.
I believe so. Yeah.
So maybe there's a post-credit scene that leads to Black Adam. Maybe there's some kind of an idea about whether we're going to see. Maybe they're going to introduce another hero that we haven't seen yet. Maybe Wonder Woman pops in a cameo. Who the hell knows? But so I'm interested to see not only the continuation of Shazam, Shazam, but also kind of that indication as to where the DCU is headed from here. As far as Black Adam, I mean, the trailer just looks fun. I mean, it looks like a typical Rock movie. It looks like it. I mean, I did like the presentation though, the prestige of him walking out with the smoke and the lightning all around him, like in full costume. I thought was pretty cool. I don't think DC had much of a choice but to kind of go overboard with The Rock, because that was really kind of the only thing they had to throw out there. But yeah, I mean, the two trailers that we got were pretty cool. The one thing, and again, it's hard to overlook. I mean, they could have done a lot of stuff they just couldn't really do. I mean, you can't really do any marketing for Flash because Ezra Miller is ruining everything. And he's the star of your show, so you can't really send him out there. For one, you don't know where the hell he's at right now, as far as I know. And for two, there's a big group of people that are turned off to him because of his personal proclivities and what he's into. Same thing with Amber Heard. I mean, you've got all that stuff going on. Now we're into the whole appealing phase of that train wreck. And a lot of people aren't fond of Amber Heard. So how do you market Aquaman? It's like, well, sure, she's not the main star, but she's in the movie. Everybody knows she's in the movie. You don't really want to stir up more of this conversation of whether you've taken a lot of her stuff out and kind of cut her down to like 5 minutes of screen time, or whether you've put her back in a lot, or what you're going to eliminate her altogether to satisfy the fans. You don't really want to deal with any of that talk. So you can't really talk about Aquaman that much. So really the only things you had to throw out there were Black Adam and Shazam, and that's it. Now the one thing that they were talking about doing, and there's been some talk about this even in the last couple of days, is there was this idea, this rumor rolling around that not only was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson going to be there to plug Black Adam, but that he was going to walk out there with Henry Cavill, and they were going to announce that Henry Cavill was going to be making some kind of an appearance. Maybe not a significant one, but some kind of an appearance in Black Adam. To that, news came out that Henry Cavill apparently tested positive for COVID. And that originally there was a plan to bring Henry Cavill out for some announcement. They didn't exactly say what. And that because he tested positive for COVID, that those plans were kind of trashed at the last minute. Why would you bring Henry Cavill out if not to announce what everybody wants you to announce? So now here's
only one thing to talk about with him.
Well, here's the question.
More Witcher.
Yeah, a lot of people say that he actually tested positive after Comic-Con, after the Disney panel. So it doesn't make a difference. But I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the exact chronology of events that led to him not showing up at Comic-Con. But the reality is they scrapped it for one reason or another, and I'm curious as to why. Now, there is going to be an interesting, come September, there's gonna be some interesting stuff going on, because September 9th, 10th, and 11th is going to be D23. And we're all expecting Marvel to drop some serious bombs at D23. I mean, like, yeah, they dropped the Wakanda Forever trailer here and some other stuff here, but I mean, we're expecting to get, like, more news about what kind of stuff is going to be happening in Phase 6, what kind of, maybe more trailers, maybe a full announcement of, like, a Fantastic Four casting and director. So maybe, just maybe, they've decided we're going to go ahead and wait until D23, and then after that's over, we're going to drop a couple bombs of our own to steal a little bit of the news cycle away from Disney and Marvel. That's a ballsy move. Now, it's not going to work, but that's a ballsy move. It's going to make me look at DC and be like, okay, bro, I see what you. Okay, bro, you're getting ready. You're throwing some haymakers. I'm with you on that one. I mean, what do you guys? Something. Yeah, Tex, what do you think of this idea that Henry Cavill was supposed to be announced at Comic-Con?
I was looking forward to that. There wasn't much at Comic-Con for me this year that I absolutely just cheered and was excited about. There were a few things, but that I got myself overwhelmed with the thought of more Cavill Superman because I love that character. And when it didn't happen, I was kind of let down. So I was like, whatever, Obviously, that was if they were going to announce it, that was the moment. If it's like you just said, they wait till after D23 and then drop the bomb, it's going to, whatever. It's not going to hit like it would have if it had been in front of the crowd. So if I'm in charge of this, I don't announce anything. If it is in the film, I just let it be a surprise when it happens in the movie. Because at this point, announcing it's not going to be the same. I do hope he's in the film because I want more Ben Affleck and I want more Henry Cavill in their respective roles. but it just needs to come out in the theater at this point because it would hit better. Comic-Con overall from the DC portion, the trailers looked good. Shazam looked funny, of course. I enjoyed the first one. I'll probably like the second one. I'm not a huge Rock fan. I did see going around that somebody had cut Black Adam footage and did like a montage of him in the Scorpion King role from years ago and was like, this is just Scorpion King Part 3 or some nonsense. It actually meshed pretty well together. But we'll see what comes of it. Oh, it looked 100% better. The one thing that I am excited about for Black Adam is Pierce Bronson as Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate's one of my favorite DC characters. I hate the helmet. The helmet has no eye holes. That bothers me because Dr. Fate he's always able to see out of the mask. So I'm curious to know their explanation of why this version doesn't have it. I hate the Hawkman in this film. Hawkman is too tiny in this movie. Go back to any version of Hawkman and he's as jacked as The Rock is. But I guess The Rock didn't want anybody as big as him in the film, to measure by. But, it is what it is. So, overall, costume design looks good. Trailer looks good. Obviously, for as much money, it better look good. But, I hate being a DC guy these days because it's more of a letdown than it is a plus. But, there are a few bright spots here and there. And I'll probably go see Black Adam along with Shazam. So, we'll see what comes from the DC side for me.
Yeah, Jeremy, what do you think about the idea of Cavill showing up and then eventually not showing up?
I don't even know. I was gonna mention, like Tech said, it's like, just being a DC fan is like being a Cleveland Browns fan. That's just you can't disappoint me. We don't care if it's great, it's fucking awesome. If not, we're like,
we know we're not going to the playoffs here.
No, we're not going to the great gig in the sky. I understand that. We're also damned if you do, damned if you don't, because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're just trying to be Marvel." Why? I'm like, yeah, because it worked. What's wrong with that? Why can't we can't do our own thing or do something right because if that formula works, what the fuck is it's like you don't own that. Like, let us do our thing, and we can't because we keep getting shit on. Now again, yes, if we keep making 26,000 versions of Batman, I mean, yeah, I understand that. You're shooting yourself in the foot doing that. It you know what? It would be a nice turn. This seems like a nice fuck, I'm dropping stuff. I'm sorry. It seems like a nice turnaround that if we're actually getting people in there that understand what the hell they're doing, and if it's enough to, allegedly bring Ben Affleck back. I mean, maybe things are looking up, and this could actually make sense. I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting. I remember watching Shazam, and I remember enjoying it. And they're talking about people like Superman, like his brother had that thing. Was it one of the bullets or something from Superman that he got shot with or some shit? But I didn't expect. I know they didn't show him. It probably wasn't Henry Cavill, but I didn't expect all of a sudden just Superman to be right there in frame. Well, kind of in frame. You didn't see his face.
Yeah, from neck down.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, whoa. It just kind of makes you realize, oh yeah, they are here and they exist. So maybe to see it would be a good idea. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
if we're not bringing back one, why don't we? We're bringing back Batman. Why don't we just? Come on,
technically, there was Ben Affleck, and he's in the Shazam 2 trailer. I mean, if you go back and watch, Shazam's laying there on the couch talking to his therapist or whatever. He says, "Oh, well, there's Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Batman. They're real heroes or whatever." So they are still showing him in the universe. Maybe that's why
they're there. We know they're there. It's just I don't know.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe it'll culminate into something because then I'd like to know what the setup is for what we're doing. I just want to consider the Snyder Cut canon because I'm I want to see Darkseid. That's our version of Thanos. Let us have it, okay?
Oh yeah.
Kind of had our Steppenwolf / Ultron person. I'm like, yeah, but you realize there's a guy above him in a bigger desk, 2 floors above,
right,
who's ready to fuck your shit up. So That's
I need to see those Omega beams flying after Superman. I need to see that in live action.
I know.
Please, please, Warner Brothers.
I want to see it. And if we're doing the, I mean, because they had, honestly, I like the look and the feel of that, well, I think it's just called Nightmare Batman, the Apocalypse Batman with the fucking trench coat. I think it looks sick.
Nightmare Batman.
Yeah.
That's my favorite version.
I was not ready for that when he came out of that truck and he's got the fucking like goggles and the trench coat on. I was like, whoa, what are we doing? I'm here for it. Yep. And you see, him, dipshit, bitch face, Amber Heard. You see Jared Leto's Joker. That's her full title, by the way. Feel free to put that on a business card moving forward. Get that $10 million back that you don't have. And you got all these guys that are all coming together, and I knew what it meant. I'm like, oh, this means Dark Superman. Because, we saw the Flash come through and say, like, am I too late? Like, hey, Lois Lane's the key. I'm like, oh, shit. Something happened. I'm like, Superman just snapped, son. He lost his shit. And I'm like, oh, I want to see that movie. I'm like, I want to see that. That's setting up some cool shit. And I'm like, I love that banter between Leto and Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm like, it's like, you have to work with this guy. You don't have a fucking choice. But it's like, he's like, well, when I kill you, and I am going to fucking kill you. I'm like, I laughed so hard. I'm like, I love this. I love this, like, reluctant team up. Yeah.
I cheered when he said that. When Affleck looks at him, I'm going to fucking...
I don't even know if it's comedic, but it is timing, and it was well fucking done.
Perfect.
So I'm like, if that was something that they had down the pipe, hopefully that's something to come or something more with Superman. That's why I want him to come back.
Bro.
I've got a poll in the chat for all of those of you who haven't noticed already. The question is, do you think Henry Cavill will return to the big screen as Superman? Very simple yes or no answers to give. So let us know. 5 of you have voted so far. Let's see if we can get that up to about 20 responses. We've been doing pretty good by getting responses in the polls the last several weeks.
Well, you got 6. You're welcome. I voted.
But
I usually don't. But...
Yeah, there's not much else to say about what DC brought. Some trailers, some stuff. Now the one thing I guess we could talk about real quick is I guess that at the Comic-Con panel, Dwayne Johnson was asked who would win a fight between Superman and Black Adam. And he gave one of those stupid coy answers about it depends on who's playing Superman. And then everybody was like, oh, what does he mean? I don't think he means a fucking thing. It's like,
no,
I think people. Here's one of the things. Look, I do it as much as other people. I try to not do this, but I do it too. Every stupid answer that somebody like The Rock gives does not mean that there is some shit that you don't know or that he does know about what's coming in that particular franchise down the line. I think he's just trying to stir buzz. Look, that's what the guy does. Look, he comes from the WWE. That's what they're all about. They're all about presentation. They're all about, building that momentum, that whatever, to get excited about the moment, the big match. And then when the last pinfall, the guy gets counted out to 3, and then the explosion of whatever. Yeah, that's what the guy does. He's all about marketing. He's all about all that shit. So I think that's what he's doing. I don't think either A, he doesn't know, or B, he already knows they're not ready to release it, or C, he just doesn't care because his movie's going to make money anyway. I think Superman making Henry Cavill specifically, making a small appearance in Black Adam probably wouldn't make the difference between the film. It would probably give it a little bit more of a pop at the box office, but I gotta be honest, I don't think it's going to do that much more money if Henry Cavill's in it or not. Tex, do you think it's really going to matter that much to the box office?
If Henry Cavill's there, I think there will be a huge bump. But there's a bigger problem. Do people forget that Black Adam is a Shazam villain, and Shazam was a different version of Superman created by a different company to compete with Superman that's technically on the same level as Superman? Like, if I was Zachary Levi who plays Shazam in these films, I would be like, what am I? Chopped liver over here? You're completely throwing me to the side because these two were epic. Like Shazam and Black Adam, they go back and forth. Obviously, Henry Cavill Superman is the biggest selling point. But I would rather see Shazam versus Black Adam. I want Superman doing Man of Steel 2, fighting Brainiac, fighting any of the other Superman villains. Give me the full-blown Lex Luthor that we finally have now, where he creates the power suit, and he has to go. Give me Bizarro. Give me all of these great Superman.
Bizarro. Yeah.
You know, there are so many characters that DC can use that they've never touched in live action. Let Shazam have Black Adam, and then in some big Justice League crossover event, we finally have your Superman versus Black Adam. You know, we're not taking that off the table, but let Shazam have his day first. I mean, you know, he's one of the few properties that DC has that is selling, unfortunately. And, you know, you're putting the cart before the horse here. I mean, let's do things in the proper order.
Give us some
Deathstroke. I don't know. That's it, man.
Jesus.
Well, Deathstroke was supposed to be in the Affleck movie for Batman.
Yeah, I know. They had that little scene with him and Lex Luthor. I'm like, oh, we're doing this? Oh, shit.
Well, that's why I want the Affleck movie so bad, is because it's literally Deathstroke breaks into Arkham. He releases all of the villains. You're going to get to see a myriad of them, and Batman has to fight his way through to get to Deathstroke. Yes, please. Yeah, this is what I want, Warner Brothers. Give it to me now. If I have to act like a 5-year-old, I will. I'll do whatever it's needed at this point.
I'll do it.
I'm going to walk out in front of your studios and hold my breath till I get my way.
I will. I'm going to stomp my feet, and I'm going to, just do everything. Henry Cavill Superman, he's the selling point. Everybody needs it at this point, it seems like. So I feel like they have to do it, just like they have to do the Ben Affleck Batman thing. I mean, I don't think there's any way around it.
I don't know. Let us know what you guys think about the DC panel, the stuff that they announced, the stuff that they didn't announce. As I try to get one more graphic done that I didn't get a chance to get done. Let us know what you guys think about DC and what they announced and didn't announce over at Comic-Con. Do you guys think, and remember, I'll leave the poll in there for a little bit, do you guys think that Henry Cavill will return to the big screen to play Kal-El? It's going to be, it's kind of, I think right now, I got to say I'm kind of 50-50. I just don't know. I think that, I don't know, I think that Comic-Con was the place to do it. And I think that they would have won Comic-Con pretty easily if it had done just that. But for some reason, they just didn't do it. I don't really know why.
Now, we're a little too far out.
It could be because... Now, maybe it's because of what everybody was talking about. Maybe he did get COVID, and obviously they didn't want to put him in a room full of, hundreds of people that were going to be breathing all over him and each other. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the chronology of all that. And again, some people have said online, well, why not have him come in like a Zoom meeting, or like a Zoom call, or just kind of like film a video ahead of time. Because that's the kind of thing that you want him to announce on stage. You can't just have him pop up on a pre-recorded video and say, "Hey, everybody, I just want to let you know I'm going to be in Black Adam with The Rock, so come see the movie." No, you want him making that. You want him standing up there with Dwayne Johnson's arm around him to announce that shit. That's what I think. That's the biggest pop. You're going to get the biggest pop out of that. But anyway, get on the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. But now we'll move on to Marvel. And boy, did Marvel hit us with some fairly big news. Now, announcing the rest of Phase 4 wasn't necessarily a big shocker. But announcing the rest of Phase 4, giving us everything that's involved in it, and then giving us the bookending projects of Phase 5, Phase 5? What else phase are we in right now? We're in Phase 4. So they gave us all of Phase 5. I'm sorry, they're confusing me with all this shit. So they gave us to complete Phase 5 and gave us the bookending projects for Phase 6. So they're giving us a big look at what's coming in Marvel over the course of the next 5 to 6 years. It was not a small thing at all. Now let's take a look, and here you can see on your screen right now is the graphic from Comic-Con that they gave us. Everything. Now, they did say that Phase 4 will finish with She-Hulk, which comes out here in just a few weeks, and with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We'll be talking about the trailer here in just a second. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, as I somehow forget to speak. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, there we go. I found my lips again. That is going to be coming out November 11th. I doubt that's going to move at this point, and that will be the official end of Phase 4. But not only that, they gave us the complete Phase 5. They have said that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which comes out on February 17th, is going to be the first film of Phase 5. Secret Invasion, which is going to be a Disney Plus show, I'm very excited to see that. They're filming that right now, is going to be dropping on Disney Plus in the spring. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will release right now on May 5th. Echo is something that kind of a spin-off from the Hawkeye TV series. We'll be getting that during the summer on Disney Plus. Loki Season 2, which is filming right now, will be releasing during the summer on Disney Plus. The Marvels, which is the sequel to Miss Marvel, is going to be dropping during the summer movie season on July 28th. Blade! That is the one that I've been wanting for a long, long time. Blade is coming out November 3rd. Ironheart, who we're actually going to be getting a little taste of in Black Panther Wakanda Forever in November, is going to be getting her Disney Plus series in the fall of 2023.
Nice.
Let's see. And finally, Agatha Harkness is finally, her show is coming out in the winter of 2023-2024. It is now going to officially be called Agatha Coven of Chaos. I am excited to see that one too, and that's going to give us a lot of answers as to what I think, whether Wanda is actually dead, or are we just going to start following Agatha's path through whatever she's doing in the MCU. I'm not 100% sure. Then the big news, obviously, something that surprised a lot of people. We're going to be getting Daredevil Born Again, a Disney Plus show in the spring of 2024. Now, the big news about that is it is not going to be one of these 6 to 9 episode bullshit shows. They are giving it 18 episodes. And that is huge for Disney. That is the first one they've done that's been more than 9 episodes. Not only is it more than 9, they're doubling the order to 18. So they obviously want to tell a lot of story. We're going to get answers as to whether or not this is going to be a variant of Daredevil, whether we're getting the Daredevil that we know from the Netflix stuff, which I actually kind of hope we do, or whether this is going to be a different version of Matt Murdock. Bottom line is Charlie Cox is going to be returning to reprise the role. We're going to find that out sometime between now and next year. The 11th property in Phase 5 will be Captain America New World Order. Now, somebody did tweet me something several days ago about how the day before Comic-Con started, Marvel put the copyright out in Europe for a bunch of titles and stuff like that, and New World Order was one of them. There's a bunch of other things. I think Daredevil Born Again is one of them, and a couple others, but actually, I think the ones that we're going to be talking about, I think the ones from Phase 6 are the other ones that were in there too. And Phase 5 will end on July 28th when the Thunderbolts hits theaters. The Thunderbolts being kind of the Suicide Squad of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's got Baron Zemo and some other people in it. You guys can go look that stuff up at your leisure. But we'll be getting that Phase 5 at that's going to be July 2024. Now they gave us not only Phase 5, but they gave us the bookending properties of Phase 6, and we now know that Fantastic Four will be the first film of Phase 6, and that film is right now scheduled to come out on November 8th of 2024. So we've got a couple of years still. Not only that, but they said the last 2 films of Phase 6 will be Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret War. Yeah, those are the really interesting ones, because at some point, now again, we don't necessarily have to have a team together to have an Avengers movie. We don't have to have the group together. But I would imagine between now and then, there is going to be a rebuilt version of the Avengers that is going to be dealing with whatever they deal with in Secret Wars and whatever they're dealing with in the Kang Dynasty. These movies will be shot back to back and will release within 6 months of each other.
Oh, shit.
So they've got Avengers: The Kang Dynasty set to release May 5th of 2024, with Avengers: Secret Wars releasing on November 8th of 2024. So about 6 months apart, give or take a few days, whatever. But so about 6 months apart for those movies. They are going to film back to back. Kevin Feige did say that, and there's not going to be a whole lot of time to digest Kang Dynasty before we get to Secret Wars. I'm wondering if they're going to be 2 separate things, or if they're going to be kind of like what Infinity War and Endgame were, where they kind of deal with like one specific threat or issue over the course of 2 movies. But there's a whole lot to process in there. I mean, Jeremy, what do you think about? We'll start with Phase 5 before we get to kind of breaking down some of the trailers, because I'm
gonna forget by the time I get there.
Do what I do. Keep a notepad right here in front of you so you can scribble stuff down. But but I mean, Phase 5. I mean, Phase 5 is looking awfully damn good. What do you think?
Well, if it wasn't obvious, the noise I made when you said Loki season 2, but I digress. Hey, look, man. Um, this, I mean, I'm still looking at it on the screen. It looks pretty nice. I kind of, I know when we saw Thor, and it's like, hey, the Guardians are here. Goodbye. Now they're going to the Volume 3. See ya. It's just to be like, hey, they're still here. Remember these guys? You know them? Okay, remember that, because you're not going to see them again for a while. So that's fun. I'm kind of curious to see where that's going. I thought maybe Thor would stick around with them for a little bit, because then you could call it the Asgardians of the Galaxy, but you dropped the ball there, Foggy. Whatever. Canceled. What else? I lost the other graphics gone. Fuck. Definitely excited for Loki, because I want to see... Well, I guess where I was going with Phase 6 with this whole Kane the Conqueror thing, I feel like maybe that's the start of the trail of breadcrumbs where that's going. And I think up there was very hard to say, close second to WandaVision, which one was my favorite show.
I put the graphic back up there in case you need a visual aid to help your thought process.
Yeah, because I'm old and shit, and I wasn't gonna scribble on my imaginary notepad what the hell you just put up there. Yeah. Echoes, I didn't see Hawkeye still. That's whatever. I haven't seen anything of Marvel. Miss Marvel, sorry. I'm excited for the Marvels though, because whenever you try to look up Captain Marvel, it's like Captain Marvel has been this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. I'm like, oh Jesus, okay, slow down. You got a CVS receipt of people who've been Captain Marvel. But that's kind of going to be the Spider-Man No Way Home of Captain Marvels. I already mentioned Loki. Blade, I'm hyped for. Honestly, what was that we just watched? That was the end credit scene. Somebody
Eternals. The end credit scene of Eternals.
Yeah, because then there was, man, that voice off screen. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I don't care. Just put Wesley Snipes in there. Not as Blade, obviously, but just put him in there. I don't fucking care how you do it. Just put him in there. It'll be fun. Ironheart will be fun. I'm always pumped for Agatha. WandaVision was an amazing show. If we're going from she's the nosy, obnoxious neighbor, or is this like her more delving into her story? I mean, who knows? Or maybe she comes out of, because her and Wanda kind of have like a little kind of partnership thing they got going on, so maybe that'll kind of help, because she was telling her, hey, you're about to play with some fire here, you're gonna need my help, and she's like, nope, goodbye. I'm like, yeah, Wanda, I think you learned that on the hard way. Daredevil, I mean, that was I didn't know there was gonna be 18 damn episodes of that. That's exciting. And Captain America, is that supposed to be maybe something with shit stick, what's his name, U.S. agent?
Oh, Captain America. No, that's actually going to be led by Sam Wilson. He's going to be full on taking the role of Captain America now, just with wings.
Okay.
So
I was wondering, like, is it going to be Sam, or is it going to be we're going U.S. agent?
It's like he has wings and he's not a super soldier.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so hard for me not to call him Captain Falcon. It's gonna be really hard, but I will try. All right. He punches somebody, and I'm gonna make a little clipper and just go Falcon punch. It's gonna be great. Which, I saw another meme the other day. I was like, you know what? He's not just he's got nephews. He is also Uncle Sam. I'm like, damn it. All right, you guys are done. You're putting time out with your jokes. Yeah, a lot of good things. A lot of things to be excited for.
Tex, what do you think? Anything about Phase 5 jump out at you?
There were 3 that caught my eye. Obvious, Thunderbolt, I'm excited about because it's like the villain, anti-hero, bad guy, good guy thing that they do. I'm unfortunately the guy that played Thunderbolt, General Thunderbolt, Patterson or Ross, whatever his name.
Ross.
He passed away because in the comics, he's the character that becomes Red Hulk. And they were supposedly going that way, like to actually have Red Hulk. So, that's kind of a letdown, but I'm sure they'll fill the gap somehow. I'm excited for the Thunderbolts film because I love a good bad guy story. I can't help myself. Blade, I'm interested in for a few reasons. I've heard the guy that plays Homelander on The Boys is supposed to be Dracula. So,
I've heard that.
Fingers crossed that one happens. I'm kind of hoping that there's more truth than rumor in that one because he was an amazing actor. And I think he'd be a great Dracula. I am curious, how do they just randomly bring vampires into this now? I mean, as deep as they are into Marvel, is it just some sort of multiversal nonsense? I'm sure they'll come up with a reason for it, whatever.
Blade.
But I do agree.
Well,
if Wesley Snipes does not have a cameo of some form in this film,
I'm gonna riot.
that's a shame because I love those Blade movies. Those are great. But the brightest spot for me was the Daredevil series. I loved that Netflix show. That was the superhero show that it was just amazing. Now, my guess why it's 18 episodes long is because you don't need as much money to put into it like you do Loki or Wanda or whatever. He's a dude that fights with sticks, you know what I mean? So maybe they can extend out that budget longer and get more episodes. I don't know. I'm curious. I do hope it's a continuation of the Netflix show because that means I can get more John Bernthal Punisher. Fingers crossed. But I'm curious to see where they go with that and how deep into that Netflix world do they go. We know they're going to be picky and choosy about who gets to be in the new show. So, I don't know. Just from the Phase 5 stuff, those were the three things that popped out to me. Everything else was I mean, I'm curious about the Secret Invasion stuff because I know the Skrulls and all of that nonsense. I'm slightly curious, and I probably won't watch the whole thing, but I'll catch the spoilers on that one for sure. But other than that, the three that I listed are what caught my eye about Phase 5.
Yeah, the things that kind of, there's a couple that jump out at me. One is Secret Invasion. I think that's going to open the universe up to a lot more characters. It's going to be different than just fighting Thanos, which is really what the whole MCU has been about for the last 12, 13 years. It's going to be very different. The other thing is Loki season 2. That to me is the one TV show, well, the one Disney Plus show rather. I'm sorry that they do that. It's so much more open world. There's so much more opportunity there than I feel like there is for anything else. Because as much as I love the Daredevil Netflix show, and as much as I'm confident that I'm going to love Born Again, I think Loki I think there's so much more you can do with that creatively. Whereas Daredevil, I just want to see him do his thing, but he does exist in this bubble in Hell's Kitchen. Whereas Loki can go all over different universes and times and do all kinds of crazy shit. I'm excited to see the Marvels. I like Captain Marvel a lot more than most people did. I thought it was a fun, like, kind of 90s action-y movie, and I thought it was fun. So I'm excited to see what the Marvels is, especially because I want to see how they build on the stuff that we found in Miss Marvel. Not only because I thought that show was just fun to watch, it felt good. They had that big stinger at the end where they finally used the word mutant. I'm sorry, they said mutation. But right after they said it, they hit with that guitar lick. Da-na-na-na-na-na. So the mutants are here now. It's not just that little cameo of Patrick Stewart in Multiverse of Madness. They just put mutants full-time in the MCU with that scene. So I'm interested to see where they go with it on that. Blade, that's the one thing that I'm looking forward to the most out of all this, because I really love the way that they put those horror elements into Multiverse of Madness, and they kind of let Sam Raimi kind of enjoy his horror background and have some fun with it without making it too much of a horror film, keeping it kind of in the Marvel way, but still expanding into that horror, a little bit of that scarier stuff. And I want Blade to do just that again. I don't recall who's directing Blade. I know they've got a director. I don't recall who's doing it though. But I want them to. I very much want them to be rated R. I think Don't Die on Me said the same thing. Please let Blade be rated R.
Please.
Look, you just put Deadpool and Logan out on Disney Plus. You dipped your toe into the R-rated waters. I just watched Deadpool last night. Like, still a great movie. And I think that Disney needs to go ahead and venture into the waters with Blade, because. Just because something's rated R doesn't mean it has to have a lot of like sex and like blood and swearing. Usually it's just the blood, but I mean it's like kids can handle blood. I mean they handled Chitauri getting tore up in Avengers all over New York. They've handled all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the MCU up to this point. I mean, why not?
you're watching Chrissy getting folded like a fucking omelet in goddamn Stranger Things. Don't even start with me.
That's not Disney, though. I mean, if
I know,
Disney would have done that, I'd
Netflix.
looked at that and been like, okay, now you guys have no excuse not to let Blade literally cut someone right down the middle
But I'm
of the
saying,
head.
like, kids can handle that. You've seen Stranger Things than that.
Yeah. But it's like, but I really want them to go ahead and go all out with that. Also, I mean, Agatha, Coven of Chaos. God, I mean,
no more.
One of the things that made WandaVision so fun to watch was her portrayal as Agatha Harkness. I just think it'd be a lot of fun. And the thing is you can have fun with her character and not make her a significant part of the overall MCU. So you can do things with her that maybe explain certain things of the MCU, but you don't have to strictly tie Agatha to the overall stuff. You can really just kind of let her character exist. Yeah. Well, she is. I mean, and again, by the time we get here, hopefully we have some explanation as to what the hell's going on with Wanda. There is this thing around there saying that she's in hell because one of the things that happened in Thor: Love and Thunder is that they opened up Valhalla, they opened up these different realms, and we've already had things like the astral plane and Black Panther. We had all this stuff that they talked about in Moon Knight.
Actually,
so now there's this talk that Wanda is actually in hell, and she's going to be brought back from hell into this world at some point because she saw the error of her ways. Blah blah blah. I don't know. That's all out there years online.
Even Loki mentioned it actually in the series. I'm watching it over again, and remember when he first gets pruned and he wakes up, he goes, "Is this hell?" I'm like. Subtitles help me. It only had one L. I'm like, oh, Mike, you mean his version of hell that he knows of? I was like, oh, wait.
If they do hell, then they have to do Mephisto because he's Marvel's devil. Who's their Satan?
We want Mephisto, damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you can't go there without buying the T-shirt, right? So,
someone did have they had a theory that I think it'd be dumb. I don't think Wanda just got taken out like that, like a punk. A little rock conked her on the fucking head, and that was it. I'm like, okay.
Well, a little rock. It was a good part of a mountain, but a little rock.
You don't go and just snap Professor X's neck like it was another fucking Tuesday and then get bopped on the head by a rock. Shut up. Not someone like Wanda. There's no damn way. Someone had a theory that maybe, I'm hoping the seeds are there. That I thought I saw something like when that shit fell down, like something happened. I'm like, she just kind of disappeared. I'm like, someone's like, maybe Kang Conqueror
underneath a mountain. Yeah, most people disappear underneath a mountain when a mountain drops on them.
And the Conqueror showed up, grabbed her, and I'm like, ooh, maybe this is the start of like the Secret Wars and shit. And it starts that whole tangent, and that's why I was getting excited for Phase 6. I'm like, oh, if we're doing that, that could be the start of that trail. I don't know. Theory.
Yeah, but so that's Phase 5. But before we get done with Phase 5, let's back up just a little bit and go back to Phase 4. We got one really big trailer and one that really kind of explains what's coming up here in a couple weeks. We'll start with the smaller one first because I know the Black Panther Wakanda stuff is going to garner a little bit of discussion between the three of us. Let's start with the She-Hulk trailer. I thought this trailer was much better than the first one. I like that they're doing like this Ally McBeal fourth wall break show. They haven't really broke the fourth wall in Marvel. I think it's going to be fun. I know a couple of people are shitting on it for obvious reasons, but I'm like, look, you got to remember. These are television shows. There is television shows are approached differently than movies. So you're going to be seeing this play out over the course of, I'm assuming, 9 episodes again for the show. So and she's not going to just be someone who is a burly superhero that fights the bad guys. There are different complications to her character that we haven't gotten out of other superheroes yet. It's going to be different. Now, is she going to have a bigger role in the MCU moving forward? Possibly. I mean, I think eventually she'll be on screen on the big screen doing some stuff. But for us to get her introduction to this character through this Ally McBeal style thing, I think makes perfect sense. And I think it looks like a lot of fun. Jeremy, you saw the She-Hulk trailer. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it looked kind of fun. And it was definitely much better than the original one that we got. So, this one had more of a. Is he still kind of like Professor Hulk, or is he just being Banner Hulk?
Okay. So
I don't know what this version of him is, and that's what just keeps bugging me. I'm like,
that's one of the questions. That's one of the questions that came up from this trailer, because like in the beginning of this trailer, because they're gonna she's going to be getting a little bit of a different origin in this than she had in the comic books. In the comic book, she needed a blood transfusion because she was shot by, I forget who, one of the villains. And Bruce realizes that the only way to save her is to give her a transfusion of his blood, and that's how she becomes She-Hulk. In this, what's going to happen is that her and Bruce are going to be driving somewhere, and Bruce is going to be in human form. Not in Hulk form, in Professor Hulk form, but in human form. They're in a car accident or something, and his blood drips into her, a la like what we saw with, what's his name in Incredible Hulk, the doctor guy, who we haven't seen again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But, some of his blood is going to get into her through that, and that's what's going to participate her becoming She-Hulk. So it's going to be a bit different, but not, like that, but look, I think this is just going to be fun. Tex, what do you think?
I hate what they've done to Hulk. I want pissed off World War Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
They've even in this trailer for She-Hulk, obviously they have to promote her, but they do it at the expense of him. That scene where he throws a rock or something. And he's like, oh yeah, like he looks proud, right? Then she throws it even a little bit further. It's even just the subtle stuff like that. I mean, I love the whole character, and I hate what they've done to it. I mean, this is obviously not my kind of show. Frank, you and I talked the other day. You said this, or you even just said it just now. It's like an Ally McBeal type show. This is not for me. It'll go over with your Marvel crowd. It'll probably be received well, but I want more angry Hulk. Give me him fighting Abomination, because Abomination, he looks awesome the way they've redone him from the first film or whatever. But I'm just not into this show. I won't be watching. I'll catch the spoilers once it's done. So probably about it for me.
Then again, we did see just Banner in his human form at the end of Shang-Chi. So maybe there is some weird, like he's got it figured out now or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, at the end of was it Endgame? He figured out a way to stay in Hulk form, but have his intelligence, correct?
Keep his cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would. I mean, as a scientist, that would maybe be the. You want to be able to have a hold or have some sort of understanding as to what this is, or have a control on it. I guess that would make sense in the mind of like, okay, this is what I would do. Or as he says, I see this as an absolute win. I love that name. I don't know. I still would like to be like, there's still that little hint of like, he could just completely lose his damn shit and just go full Hulk on something. Whatever it may be.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, John Campy referred to it as World Breaker Hulk, and because he agrees with you guys and me and all of us that Hulk has been kind of neutered. And even the Russo brothers admitted that they kind of nerfed the Hulk really bad when they kind of took things over, because they thought he was one of the few people that really could throw hands with Thanos and perhaps win the battle. I mean,
I'm not saying he wouldn't have got he wouldn't have been scared out of his damn mind if someone like Thanos had come up to him like that. I'm like, I'd be a little scared too.
They did a whole line of comics about it, World War Hulk. It was a whole thing where literally the Marvel world could stop him because he was so mad. I mean,
that's why the Illuminati sends him out into space.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Stark didn't build a suit specifically for that reason, just for nothing.
Right, well, yeah, they sent him off to space, and then he came back, and he's like, screw all y'all. I'm just killing everybody. He's killing X-Men, Avengers. He don't care who you are. He's taking you out. That's what I want to see. That's what... Give me that pissed off, angry Hulk that just wants to smack. I mean, I don't know why it's so hard to do a good Incredible Hulk film. He's a very simplistic character to fill out. It's not like you're writing Shakespeare here. I don't see what's so hard about it.
Bring back Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, that'd be great.
Hey, he still looks good. I mean, he was in the King of Queens. He had a reoccurring role in that. And he's still in pretty good shape.
He was the cameo with Stan Lee. He was like the big buff security guard or something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he did something. I forget what he did.
I
actually like that.
I think Stan was the other security guard.
Yeah. I'm just go back and watch it.
He's like, we need to beef up security around here. And he's talking to Lou Ferrigno. I'm like, he's like about to bust out of his fucking shirt. It looks like it's already one size too small.
No doubt.
I'm like, see a little bit of green going down his arm.
There was an animated Hulk show. It was on Disney Channel. Me and the kids used to watch it. It was Hulk and the Agents of Smash. Did y'all ever see that?
I know it. I don't think I watched it that much. I think my nephew has watched a little bit of it. He's like 4, but I remember it.
That was actually entertaining. I watched it with the kids, and you had Hulk, She-Hulk, Red Hulk. You had like 5 different Hulks on there, and like they were all different variations of the original. It was pretty cool. I mean, it stayed on there for a while. It was it started out. It was off that Avengers cartoon that was going on TV at the time. It was like a spinoff of it or whatever. And I would like to see more of that. I mean, and maybe this She-Hulk thing is a way to get more Hulk characters into the world. And if so, fine, whatever. But I just watching that trailer, it didn't look like anything that I would ever watch. I mean, of course, my sensibilities are very different. I'm a different kind of fan. So, to each their own. But, not everything's made for everybody. So it is what it is,
Yeah. Surprised we didn't do any more of like the Planet Hulk stuff, which I thought we were maybe going to do in Ragnarok, because that's how, we saw Thor, that he found the Hulk out there on that, whatever the hell that world was. With
that trash-looking world or whatever?
Yeah, whatever the hell it was. So,
See, I once again, that was a great movie, but there was too much comedy.
It did left turn really hard. I don't know what the hell that was.
I mean, Thor's going into battle, and you think he's all serious and mad. And then he sees Hulk, and he's like, "Oh, hey, buddy." And that's my friend.
He's a guy from work. I know him.
Right. You just completely take all the air out of the room. It's like, oh, okay. Well, this isn't going to be
my jaw dropped too, but I was more in a sense of like, oh shit, are we gonna do this? And no, we're not. Oh, okay. Damn it.
Well, that's the whole thing. I wish certain stuff would be took more seriously. I like a deeper, darker tone. I'm a DC fan.
That's why we're DC. You and me, we're on the same. I'm like, I want to see somebody get their neck snapped. Damn it.
I love Batman v Superman. For every scene that everybody had a problem with, like the Martha scene, this or that, I had no issue.
Why did you say that name?
I'm just my sensibilities are different. I like a deeper, darker tone. Not everything has to be a joke, and when it is, I'm not going to take it seriously. So, humor has its place.
Yeah,
well, like the Evil Dead movies, some of my favorite movies ever made. They're hilarious.
I'll pull my chainsaw arm out right now. It's right there.
Ash. Ash, he's awesome, but you can be quippy and still be dark, serious, and legitimately.
Who cuts off their possessed hand and like laughing maniacally, like, who's laughing now?
Right.
Put a chainsaw on that bitch and go to war.
If Evil Dead 2 can make a Three Stooges horror film took seriously, Marvel can take a Thor movie or a Hulk movie seriously.
That's it.
This is possible.
Bring Sam Raimi into the fold a little more, guys, and trust me, it'll be a fun time.
Just put him in charge. Sam Raimi's great. They already got the guy from Doctor Strange. Just give him more, work.
I need that Black Panther. Get this man another movie.
Speaking of Black Panther, that is the other big trailer that they dropped.
You're welcome for the segue.
Panel. Yes, thank you very much. You're very good at that.
That was a great segue, by the way.
Right. Boy, that trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, holy shit. The music of it, the using Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry into I forget the name of the song by Kendrick Lamar. Look, that trailer was mind-blowingly good. Tex, what are some of your thoughts on that trailer? I know you're like me, you've probably watched it a half dozen times, if not more by now. What are some of your thoughts about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer?
Visually, I don't think it's gotten any better from a Marvel trailer that I've seen. The bright colors, it's shiny, the world feels like there's depth to it. Even the CGI doesn't feel cheap. Obviously, the weight of Chadwick Chadwick Boseman passing, that looms over the whole thing with the murals on the walls and everything else. It's a very serious trailer. And when you start going into the stuff with are they Atlanteans in Marvel, or do they have a different name? I don't know what they are. But are they Atlanteans? Okay. You start seeing clips of like the Submariner here and this and that, clips of war. It looks like the Flashpoint movie that DC's not going to make, where Aquaman's fighting Wonder Woman. This is what this looks like. And I have no clue with what's going on with who's going to be the new Black Panther. I think the role needs to be recast. If you don't have T'Challa, you don't have a Black Panther. I know in comics it's been other people, but hell, what was the villain from the last movie? Killmonger? Bring him back. I like him too. Yeah, he was a great character. I'd say somehow go into the multiverse and get him. Whatever. Do what you got to do. But like I said, the trailer looks great. You can tell if the heart is there. This obviously, Chadwick Boseman's gone. We have to move forward. So if we're not going to cast, we can only do what we can. But visually, it looks great. Probably, I would imagine that the story's going to be told well. The people seem like they care about this product. I'll go see it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a fun film.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's honestly what I mean. I know they're not just going to tell us or really give us much on it, but I know that's what we're all thinking. And I'm like, I just want a sliver of something. Like, I don't know. I know, and like you even just said, I know they care about this. I know they want to do it justice, and you're gonna have to do the best with what you got. And I mean, I don't, and like you always, what do you always say, Frank? And if I give you trust, so fair. Mhm. Mhm.
I accidentally muted myself because I'm an idiot. But no, what I was saying was is that it's not just in Feige we trust; it's in Ryan Coogler we trust, because he is so passionate about this character and this world that he helped build in the first movie with Chadwick Boseman. So he's not just going to wash over or look over the fact that there is this big omission. He is actually going to very carefully craft this thing to where he is paying homage not only to Chadwick Boseman but to this character's loss. Right. You know what I mean?
Oh. Yeah, it's going to be cool to see. I'm interested.
Yeah, I need
obviously the Submariner.
I love this one so much. I'm glad they did one with without the
helmet.
Helmet, yeah. I think it's really cool. Yeah. Somewhere the glare right there is T'Challa Star-Lord from What If. I'm like, I had to kind of get that one too. That's one of my favorites.
I saw one of those Black Panther pops not too long ago that it glowed in the dark. It had like purple all over it, and it glowed in the dark.
The black light one. Yeah. I love
whatever it was. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, but one with the helmet off, I'm like, I kind of have to. This, that's a cool one.
Yeah. For me, this trailer, it's like when I first watched it, I was kind of bowled over. I went kind of numb for a minute because there was so much emotion in it.
Same.
For one, like I said, the music of this trailer, like my God, was so good. And thank you, Connor, in the chat for reminding me it is All Right by Kendrick Lamar was the other song that played. I love the transition from No Girl, No Cry to the other song All Right. I thought that was great. But there was an overriding theme in this trailer to me. I think it was death and birth, because obviously we're dealing with T'Challa dies at some point, and because all the people dancing around in white, white is traditional funeral attire in most parts of Africa. So obviously they're having his funeral at this point. This is probably something that's going to happen fairly early in the movie, if not the beginning of the movie. So we go from that and we transition to this one scene where it looks like Namor is being born in the water. So there was this weird opposite emotion of death and birth that happens in the trailer that I thought was a really interesting way to kind of gin up the emotion of the whole thing. And the other thing, other than the music, was, my God, Angela Bassett. When she has that one moment where she's saying, I've lost my husband, I've lost my son, I've sacrificed my family. What more must I do? And I'm the queen of the most powerful country in the world. I love Angela Bassett. There is not a role that she has been in that she hasn't been absolutely fucking amazing. I mean, what's love got to do with it? Playing Tina Turner, who is someone I've always loved anyway. I love watching her in 911. It's one of my favorite shows that me and Jennifer watch every week during TV seasons. It's like she is just so damn good. I don't think they could have picked a better person to play her character in this. But it's again, just so much emotion. And generally speaking, what the first trailer for a movie does, it doesn't give you much about the plot. It just kind of gives you a basic idea of what it all's going to look like. I got to be honest, I don't need another trailer for this movie. If you don't release another trailer for Black Panther, I am just fine. Because obviously the trailer is not going to give us everything about how they dealt with, about even what happens to T'Challa, and how they deal with it moving forward, blah, blah. There's going to be two big questions. Well, really one big question, and they made that question even more important in this trailer at the very end, when you see that whoever is in a Black Panther suit kind of open up the claws, and you can see in the background of that shot, it's kind of blurry, so if you blink, you're going to miss it. It looks like that's a fight with Namor. It looks like Namor is picking himself up off the ground in the background. So the question is who is that? Now, there's lots of theories. One,
Shuri?
It looks like Shuri. And I think Marvel has not confirmed, but they've confirmed it, you know what I mean, that it's going to be Shuri. I don't really have a problem with that. There's the idea that it could have been Okoye, which would have been great, because she's a great warrior as well. Okay. It could have been, not Niobe. That's from The Matrix. What's the one he was going to make? Was that?
No, I know who you're talking about. It's not Niobe. It's something,
what's
her name?
Laputa Nyong'o's character. I'm drawing a blank on her name for some reason. Help me out in the chat, guys. But
Nakia?
Nakia, that's it. Nakia. But I mean, the idea could have been her, because I mean, she was worthy enough to where Chadwick Boseman wanted her to be his queen. So you got to, and she's a warrior in her own right. We saw that pretty clearly in the first Black Panther movie. So she's worthy. Could have been M'Baku. I mean, he was whooping T'Challa's ass at one point in that fight on the side of the mountain in the big pool. So it's not like he's not worthy, but it looks as if there might be going with Shuri. At least that's what I saw. You only really get a look at the ass and the thighs and the arm. You don't really get to see. Also, one of the big questions is whoever is in that suit at that moment, are they going to be Black Panther moving forward? Do they? Right. Because there's this rumor floating around. I don't believe this is it, but there's this rumor floating around that there's that one scene in the trailer where it looks like the Atlanteans are swimming up to this boat, and that boat is a Wakandan boat that is out there looking for the body of Eric Killmonger, because they are going to do whatever magical shit they do to bring him back to life. Because you remember when after the fight is over between him and T'Challa, he says, "Bury me in the sea next to my ancestors," because they knew that death was better than bondage. So the assumption is they buried him at sea. So there's people out there saying that maybe they're going to go out to sea to find his body, because they need someone who is worthy, someone who did beat T'Challa in ritual combat, to take the mantle of Black Panther, and that's how. And he's going to eventually come back and be the Black Panther. Maybe not the ruler of Wakanda, but maybe the Black Panther. That's pushing it a bit, but I mean, I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but there's an idea. But I don't know. Tex, who do you think actually is the one in that shot that's opening those claws up and is getting ready to throw down with Namor as Black Panther?
Like I said a minute ago, I would love to see Killmonger come back. Because, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the first film, but I really liked Killmonger. I liked him more than I did Black Panther. So, if I'm picking, that's who I'm going with. Any of the other women, I didn't like the film enough to study more about them to do whatever with. So I would go with Killmonger. And if that rumor happens to be true, whatever, maybe Black Panther doesn't show up till the final battle, and that's the scene that we get to see where they've revived him and he's in the Killmonger's in the Black Panther army. Who knows? But if it's me, that's who I'd like to go with. That or the Baku. I can never say his name. I liked him too because, like you said, he beat that ass in the first place. So I mean, if we're just going by, who's earned it, he's got his just as much right as anybody else does. So I don't know. Visually, it makes more sense because all them women, yes, I know they're presented as big warriors, but visually, it just doesn't measure up for me. Like, I don't know. I had the same issues in the Scream movies when Ghostface is 6'5", then the killer's revealed and it's like a 5 foot tall woman. I've always had issues.
Right.
But that's a whole separate thing. So whoever it is, they need to look the part. And, like you said, we don't get much. You get the backside shot in the first trailer. They're not going to give it all away. So I hope it's somebody good. And hopefully it's Killmonger because then I'd be more interested otherwise. That's just me.
Jeremy, who do you think is going to be flashing those claws at the end of the movie?
Well, you know me. I've always been Team Shuri. So
there you go.
That's just me, and partly because there's a precedent for it in the comics. She does become Black Panther at some point as well. So I'm like, well, given the kind of corner we're in now with the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman, I'm like, that's the direction you could go, because I'm like, that does make sense. She is the one who's kind of his Alfred. She made him all the suits. She gave him all the tech. I'm like, who would know better? Who's got a mind big enough to, she makes all the stuff. I don't know.
Is it Shuri or Riri Williams that becomes the new Iron Woman or whatever her name?
That's Riri Williams.
Is that okay? I couldn't remember which one that was. I knew it was one of them.
Yeah, that's the girl you see for a brief second with the the red outfit on that Shuri is high-fiving in the lab. That's Riri Williams. She's actually getting her own series as well on Disney Plus.
Nice.
Oh, that's Ironheart.
Yeah.
Ironheart.
Okay, I'm up to speed.
I don't know if I'd say Okoye because I'm like, well, someone's got to lead the door of Bellagio, so maybe not her. Plus, she's got to do more Walking Dead stuff, so god damn it.
She ain't doing Michonne right now, so
I know
she's got free time. So
I'm doing much more Michonne, but I need more Michonne and Rick. God damn it! Hey, 6 episodes, fine, whatever. I don't care.
Well, here's kind of what I think. I think at the end it's Shuri. I think that's probably Shuri that's fighting Namor. But I wonder if maybe when all is said and done with this film, at the end of the film, that there isn't a conversation that happens between Angela Bassett's character and Shuri that says we need to find the next Black Panther. You did a great job, but your role is not as the Black Panther. Your role is the tech, the smartest person in the MCU, designing all this stuff that keeps Wakanda so awesome and wonderful. We need to have someone who is a warrior, and thus will start a search for a new Black Panther. Is that something you guys think makes sense? Or is Shuri just Black Panther from here on out?
I don't know.
I could see that. I could see this being a placeholder. Maybe Namor is a good guy in Marvel Comics, right?
He's kind of the Aquaman of
Yeah,
Marvel.
But in the comics there is, and actually you see this in the trailer. There is this one point where the Atlanteans go to war with the Wakandans, and they actually flood, and he actually floods Wakanda, and you actually see that in the trailer because the throne room of Wakanda sits on top of a mountain, or sits very, very up high, and he actually hits Wakanda with a tidal wave and floods it to the point where you can see it in the trailer where all that water is rushing in around the Wakandan throne. So whether they're fighting over vibranium, whether they're fighting over whatever, who really knows? But most of this is going to be driven by some kind of a skirmish or war between the Wakandans and the Atlanteans. So he's going to be kind of a bad guy for this movie.
Well, that's what I was thinking. He starts out as a bad guy, then they work out their differences by the end and whatever. Because I know the Submariner, he's in the Illuminati comics as, one of the members of that. So I guess it's like a Batman v Superman thing where you're fighting each other by the end of friends or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. But whoever it is, it could either be the permanent one or a placeholder. Like you said, with, Queen talking to whoever and says we need to find the real one. And then you have a whole new movie, Black Panther 3, the new Black Panther, whatever the hell you want to call it. So, I mean, they can go either way they want to with it. I still say with this multiverse thing, you could have another T'Challa pop up at any time. I mean, just like any other, realistically.
That's underneath one. I was like, you mean like a Star-Lord one?
One of the things, something that has occurred to me is like maybe they are going to recast T'Challa. Like you said, they're going to bring T'Challa back at some point, but they're going to take time to recast him rather than just like they didn't feel like they had enough time to do their diligence from when Chadwick Boseman actually passed away to getting this movie into production. They didn't feel like they had a time to find the right person. So maybe we're just going to make this Wakanda forever, and that's how it's going to end up. We're going to do whatever, and we're going to go get another T'Challa from a different fucking universe or whatever. I mean, because this is being called now officially the multiverse saga, because we had the Infinity Saga with the Infinity Stones, but now that Thanos has been dispatched, now we're on the multiverse saga. So that's where we're at right now in the MCU. So it's possible.
I did see one theory some time ago, and it's probably not true, probably some fan theory, but in the Marvel comics, Black Panther is married to Storm from the X-Men.
Yes.
And they were talking about how you bring this was an article about how you bring X-Men into the, regular movies, but T'Challa had already passed at that point. So they were saying, well, if you fold the X-Men over, you can have an already grown Storm and her husband as Black Panther, and this world needs a Black Panther, and somehow he ends up being the king of this one or whatever. And it would, you could fold it all in.
Could go searching for that universe too, yeah. That's true.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, there's ways of doing it. Because if you're going to bring in, whatever, I don't know.
Some X-Men.
I don't know how true it is. It's just a rumor that I saw. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, part of the problem is no matter who you cast, they're never going to be as good as Chadwick Boseman.
No,
of course.
It's like
there's Wolverine.
With Wolverine, who are we going to do for that?
Well, the difference is that the Hugh Jackman Wolverine ran his course. We got him from the first movie back in the first X-Men, all the way to Logan, where we saw him complete his journey as the character. Whereas Chadwick Boseman we only really got a small taste of him. As much as we loved him, we only really got the one standalone movie, and then he was in Civil War and Endgame, and we got tastes of him in there. But we only really got a chance to see him in the one movie where he really carried it and did such a fantastic job. So now we're not asking someone to come in and just be a different version. We're asking somebody to come in and take over what he started and to try to shepherd it forward, which is a very different thing than just taking over a role from someone who saw the character to its end and now we're just recasting so we can start all over again and do something fresh. It's a very different thing.
I mean, we're all not forgetting, right, that we had why am I drawing a blank on fucking names today? Jesus Christ. Edward Norton. And he went right to
it's the Hulk?
Yeah,
I'm like, we had one, and Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, we had one little one-off, and then Ruffalo just kind of took it, and I'm like, well, yeah, then you just, we ran with that, and we're still running with it, actually. So
now, just a thought popped into my head, and it's probably zero chance of this happening. What about Bucky, Winter Soldier? Wasn't he living in Wakanda?
Yeah, he was kind of hiding out there while they were trying to unscrew up in his brain whatever was screwed up to where all you had to do was read those words, and he would turn into your personal assassin.
I mean,
I'm sure Wakanda armor could do a Black Panther armor skin on him or something.
Yeah, but then you're talking about making a white guy the Black Panther, and then there's all kinds of other problems that Disney won't want to mess with.
Well, you could even do obviously the political backlash I could see, but if you were going to do a one movie temporary thing, he sees what's going on and he just wants to help it. He's they give him the Black Panther armor and he returned it something. I don't know. You could do something.
I mean, we did just make. yeah, but Sam Wilson's also been Captain America. I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with that either. You know,
There you go.
he doesn't have to be a blue-eyed, blonde-haired, good old boy from Brooklyn, New York, who fought in World War
Right.
II. Like,
And he already has like the super, hero syndrome. Syndrome. It sounds like a retarded.
superhero,
The
super soldier.
yeah, he's already been through that. So I mean, if he's living in Wakanda, I don't keep up with all these things as much as y'all do. But I don't know. That'd be an interesting movie. Who knows?
Have a white Black Panther and a black Captain America. Let's go.
There you go.
That's season 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier right there. I just wrote it for you.
We're
You're
human
welcome.
race relations all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, I don't see them making a white person Black Panther.
Probably not.
I just don't see them doing that.
Nah.
Like I said, 0% chance, but it sounds good. So what the hell?
That could be a new season of What If. I don't fucking know.
Maybe.
Hell yeah.
But I do want to move on to some discussion about Phase 6 real quick before we start to wrap things up, because there are some things I want to throw out here about Phase 6. Now, we did get, and you guys can see on your screen right now, we did get the bookending projects for Phase 6. It's going to start with the Fantastic Four film. Finally, we'll probably be getting a lot more news about that here in a couple of months when D23 happens on September 9th. And it's going to start with Fantastic Four, and it's going to end with back-to-back Avengers movies, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars. One of the big questions that I had is what happens between those movies, between Fantastic Four and Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. I would imagine we're going to be getting at least a couple of those properties given to us at D23 in September. But I think it's still a little far out for them to release kind of the whole thing. So I want to break down a couple of titles that I think could possibly pop up in Phase 6. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on them. The first one is Shang-Chi 2. I mean, Shang-Chi was a fantastic movie. It's probably top 5 for me in the entire MCU. It was a beautifully done film. But we haven't heard anything about him since. And it's not even like... Now there are some things in Miss Marvel that kind of allude a little bit to the Ten Rings. I don't know. I know that, Jeremy, I know you said you didn't watch Miss Marvel, but in one of the final episodes, it actually has a flashback to where they find the bangle that she wears over the course of that show that gives her her powers. And there's a shot coming straight down on top of this thing that it's on, and there's the 10 Rings logo, the design around the base of this thing. So the 10 Rings is obviously involved in this somehow. I personally at that point started thinking that maybe the 10 Rings and this bangle were created by the same individuals, probably somebody in outer space, some magical people of some sort, obviously. But I thought that maybe these things are connected at some point. So I thought maybe that was a little bit of an allusion to something from Shang-Chi, but we haven't gotten any more talk about him even appearing in anybody else's shit. So, I mean, obviously they're going to do another one. The first Shang-Chi, it did great at the box office. Most everybody loved it. And you kind of have to have a second one at some point, but there hasn't been any talk. Do you think, Jeremy, that Shang-Chi 2 could be one of the movies that ends up in Phase 6?
I would hope so, because there is a lot of setup there for some stuff that we, like you said, we haven't had any closure to. I mean, I'm not going to, open and shut that door that quick, but we have whatever this is with these 10 rings, and remember we saw Wong pop in and out a couple times, and then we got like I said, Banner came out there and said like, yeah, well, welcome to the fucking shit show, kid. He didn't say that, but it's basically what he said.
Right.
Actually, I think that's exactly what he said, is welcome to the shit show.
I think he did say welcome to the shit show, yeah, or something like that. So yeah, there's more to it, and maybe it will come to fruition a little further out, because I feel like it's got some part to play, because you don't just have an item of that kind of magnitude that just goes unnoticed or under the radar. So,
and Shang-Chi to me is one of the people that could be the leader of the Avengers moving forward.
Yeah,
I mean, because he's pretty young, he's a badass. And he's a character that a lot of the Marvel fandom just fell in love with right from the jump. So because one of the things that the MCU has been missing since Tony and Steve Rogers are now out of the picture is that one or maybe two leaders that can really kind of help focus the team in the direction it needs to be. Doctor Strange has said multiple times in the films that he is not in the Avengers, so it's not likely he's going to be a leader. Spider-Man, not really. I mean, it's like we're not even sure what his standings are in the MCU.
No one knows who Peter Parker is anymore.
Well, they know who Spider-Man is. They don't know who Peter Parker is. That's the caveat. So I mean, there's probably some Avengers somewhere saying, "What happened to that kid dressed in the red suit that helped us out in Germany?" So they know Spider-Man. They just don't know Peter Parker. Who would it be?
He could be like a young Tony Stark. He still has the glasses, right? I don't know. And all the Stark tech.
And Captain Marvel is very rarely on planet. Thor, not really. I mean, Thor, they pretty much nerfed him the same way that they nerfed the Hulk the last couple of movies. Yeah. It's like, so who's really going to lead? I think Shang-Chi could be that guy. That's what I might do, because he's young. Everybody loves him. He can be around for another fucking 6-8 movies, maybe even more. I mean, maybe not carrying his own films 6 or 8 times, but I mean, popping into other films like Avengers films and quick appearances in other people's films, then doing a couple films of his own along the way. So I think that's a possibility, but I mean, I think he's one of the guys that could be one of the de facto leaders of the Avengers moving forward. I don't know. So what did you guys think about the idea of Shang-Chi 2 being a part of Phase 6?
Yeah, I want more of it.
Very possible.
I was like, I basically sat there and it felt like I watched a fucking balls to the wall anime for like 2 hours. And I was like, good God, what the fuck happened? I love it.
Yeah, I'll move on to another one we haven't heard anything about since the other movie came out, and that's the Eternals. Could they put a second Eternals movie in Phase 6 somewhere? I mean, there definitely were some significant things that happened in that movie for the larger MCU. And again, the movie just came out less than a year ago, so maybe right about now we would start hearing some whispers, but I mean, there just hasn't been a whole lot of talk about, going forward with the Eternals and what, their standalone stuff. I mean, Jeremy, what do you think about the Eternals maybe being in Phase 6?
Somebody get Harry Styles on the phone. We gotta explain. We gotta explain some shit. I don't even know what the fuck that was about. Yeah, this guy's totally Thanos' brother. Okay, sure.
From another mother.
Something, man.
Somebody had fun with the milkman.
I want to see
one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, no.
I want to see the DNA test on that one.
Hey, not all gods look alike. Okay.
All right. Whatever weird space magic crap I had to do with,
Maybe Harry Styles is the runt of the litter. Who knows?
I don't know. I had to deal with the heavy-handed Jesus metaphor in fucking Star Wars. Like, yeah, he just born out of nowhere. Who fucking knows? I think the Eternals, that could be something that might be... Look at the hair on that child. He's got that curl and he's got the voice like an angel. Son of a bitch. Maybe he's a space siren. I don't know. Anyway, Eternals might be more of and I don't want to say an end game type of thing, but I'm like that seems like the real big shit. I'm like, are we really just not going to talk about the fact that there was some dude just basically holding Earth by the balls and they put a big hole in the side of the planet? Like that doesn't go unnoticed. Like, so I think Fred, you and I talked about that a little bit. Like that could be something that maybe that's actually happened like later. Like, that didn't just happen, and now we're back to, everything being all peachy. Like, I don't know. That seems more of, like, the Galactus type stuff, where, you got actual, like, world destroyers now, so...
And that's the hard part about these comic book movies, is, like, whenever Iron Man is fighting somebody in his own movie, then there's always this question of, why didn't he just call the rest of the Avengers? Well, because then the movie's 5 minutes long. Just be happy we're getting Iron Man fighting a bad guy.
Yeah.
Not every, like, Justin Hammer did not need to be taken down by all of the Avengers, you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I know. So,
he's Justin Hammer. It's like, whatever.
I feel like that might be a bigger part of the, I keep wanting to say the word end game. I know it's not end game, but yeah, that could be what it culminates into. So
another movie. Look, he's gonna be getting introduced this November, so you gotta ask if he's gonna get his own movie, and that's Namor. I mean, what do you think about the idea of Namor getting his own standalone film in Phase 6? Tex, what do you think?
That'd be cool. I mean, what better way to give a big middle finger to Warner Brothers than to make their own water-based
Aquaman.
You know, I could very well see it happening, and especially if Aquaman 2 does well, I think that's going to have a big effect on Namor getting the movie because they're basically the same thing. So
Yeah.
it's very likely, and if they're going to make him as big a part of it as it seems like they are in Black Panther 2, you know they're going to do something with it. Whether it's a Disney Plus series or a film, hell, the Agatha woman is getting her own show. When I watched WandaVision, I'm like, okay, this is a one and done. You know, we're done with this one, and she gets her own show. So I would imagine Namor is probably a lot to get something in the future of, considering, like I said earlier, he's an Illuminati member. He's a big time character in the comics. They're going to do something with it. They're not going to waste it.
And a lot of people have pointed out there was that empty chair for the Illuminatis in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
So
see, I thought that was an Iron Man.
Nobody really knows for sure who would have been sitting in that chair in normal circumstances. Some people have thought an Iron Man variant because apparently this has been out in the news for a while. Apparently there were plans to have a Tony Stark variant played by Tom Cruise in Multiverse of Madness.
Yes,
I don't know why it got scrapped, but what he wears at the Illuminati is this one suit that controls all the other Ultron bots that we saw in the movie. Why they decided not to go that route, I don't know, but I mean, it just didn't happen the way that they thought it might happen. So, I mean, whatever. So maybe it could have been him. Maybe it could have been Namor. Maybe it could have been the seat that their version of Doctor Strange sat in before they had to deal with him after dispatching Thanos in their reality. So nobody really knows for sure, but it's just like that empty seat could have. I mean, anybody could have been sitting there. So that's one of the things they talked about is the possibility of Namor, who I believe is one of the founding members of the Illuminati in the comic books. That could have been where he works at.
But I know he's in there.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's possible. But I don't know, Jeremy, what do you think? The idea of a Namor standalone movie in Phase 6?
That would be kind of cool, since I guess we more than likely are putting him in the Black Panther movie, so it'd be kind of fun to see where that goes. Like, you know, he's not, it's not just, this is just some guy we're gonna, I don't want to say low level, because he's not. We know if it's Namor, we know it's not just some little street punk who's gonna come and try and tussle with Black Panther for a minute. There's more to it that can be done. So I wouldn't just leave the, like he said, like, we're not just going to, like WandaVision, we're just going to leave this on the table and be like, all right, we're done. So, give him some more. It was, we'll make a second verse. It was Namor all along, or some shit. I don't know.
I killed the dog. But, there's one, and this is probably going to generate a little bit of a discussion at least, but he exists in the MCU now, and you can't discount the idea. A Deadpool 3 movie in Phase 6? I mean, Jeremy, what do you think? If you think about it, Ryan Reynolds is like balls out on trying to get Deadpool 3 made right now.
Yeah, I know.
2024, 2025, when we be hitting Phase 6, I mean, if he's going balls out and getting it done now, getting a script done, getting it greenlit, and going through pre-production and production, 2024, 2025 would be right about where it would drop, given no other things getting in the way. What do you think, Jeremy, about the idea of Deadpool 3 being in Phase 6?
That would make sense. And I'm somewhere in the back in the comments, someone did mention maybe put him in Thunderbolts, because, I mean, who else better than an anti-hero than the Merc with the mouth? That'd be kind of fun. So, and it's gonna be something fun. Like, he's gonna be fourth wall breaking. He's gonna be cracking jokes and all kinds of dumb. He's gonna be talking. I mean, we're probably by that point, we're probably gonna have a lot of this multiverse crap out there. So he's gonna be cracking jokes about that. He is. So it seems like it's all there for it to happen. So the thing with Deadpool is, I'm like, it doesn't matter what you do. You just put him in there, and it doesn't have to make sense. Who cares? Who even cares? It's maybe he'll actually look at us and say, no, that's good writing. That's not lazy writing.
Tex, what do you think? The possibility of Deadpool 3 in Phase 6.
I think it'd be a good fit, and I think it'd also be a good fit to bring in the rest of the mutants too that you were talking about earlier, and have an X-Men movie in this Phase 6 of some variety. If you want to introduce a whole team, or you want to build them up slowly. I'm not the creative guy; I could go either way with it. But Deadpool would be a good fit. It's got a built-in audience. You know, it's going to make money. Now, I highly, highly, highly doubt you're going to get a Deadpool film like you did before, rated R wise, everything else. I'm still holding my breath on that one. But
that makes it fun. Like if it's PG-13, he knows he's got one F-bomb, and he's going to be just itching the whole damn movie to say it at the right time.
We'll see. Yeah,
and he's going to waste it. He's going to be like, "Bear, fuck!" He's like, "Ah!" He can't do it again. He's like, "Damn it!" You know he's going to waste it.
The one thing I wish they could bring back Captain America to just do a language speech with Deadpool one time, like in the multiverse. Man. Can we just Captain America comes out of the universe from somewhere else. He hears Deadpool swear, and he gets on his language or whatever he said, right? And then he can go away forever. Something like that would be fun. But obviously, Deadpool would be a good fit. It's going to, bring in a lot of people, make people happy. It's an easy fit. I don't see why you wouldn't do it. I mean, it's got to happen sooner than later, right?
Maybe if they do actually get these mutants in here, I'll be like, "Oh my god, you guys actually now have a full house. Great."
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. That, and I feel bad for whoever plays Charles Xavier, because he's getting his neck snapped at some point in time.
I had to watch Patrick Stewart as Professor X die twice. It's too soon, man.
Look, me personally, I think Deadpool works better away from the larger MCU. It's like having him cameo on because someone in the chat just mentioned cameo. Yeah, Connor just mentioned. I'm calling it now. Deadpool either as a member of or cameo on the Thunderbolts. A cameo on the Thunderbolts makes sense. I would totally dig that. I think that would be a fun place for him to have a cameo. But the reality is, I just think that his character works better when he's not surrounded by the Avengers, when he's not surrounded by the stuff that's going on in the MCU proper. He's such a. I think it's more freeing for his character when you're just letting him do his own thing and let him do what he's always done: make fun of the other comic book shit. Let him make fun of. Let him make fun of Tony Stark.
Would it not be fun if he was making fun of them to their actual faces?
But that's the thing is, I think that's better off happening in his own movie. I don't necessarily want him showing up in an Avengers film making fun of Tony Stark for wanting to eat at the shawarma place or whatever. I think it's much better serves his humor and his character if you have someone like if you just see Iron Man flying across the sky and he looks up when he's fighting somebody, he's like, "Oh, there's that Iron fuck again." He gets all the press, and then you make some kind of a joke about Robert Downey Jr.'s drug past or something like that. I mean, that's the kind of thing where I think that he excels, rather than you could have dropped him in the middle of the big fucking battle at the end of Avengers Endgame, and he probably would have marked a bunch of fucking aliens, and that would have been cool to see. But his brand of humor works better in his movies. Not that it wouldn't be funny in an Avengers movie, but that the constant flow of comedy that you get from him, I think is much better served in a Deadpool movie. Cameos and other Marvel stuff, I think, would be fun if it's well timed and well written and well thought out. But to really open up his character to what he can be, I think it has to be his own standalone thing.
Maybe it's just Deadpool walking out there with a Stan Lee mask on and be like, "Hey." But he's got the sweater on, like, over his fucking red suit or something. I don't know.
Like, here's the cameo, fuckers. Enough said.
Right. Got the glasses on. Enough said.
Yeah, that would work great in one of his movies, but I don't think that would work so well in a regular MCU film where, with the exception of Thor, you're trying to focus on some of the more serious shit. It's like, whatever. It would have been in a Thor movie. In the last couple of Thor movies, it probably would have fit perfectly because they had nothing to do with any of the comedy anyway. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. So potentially Deadpool. Another one, possibly, again, we don't really know where they stand in their deal, but I mean, is a Spider-Man 4 possible, Jeremy, in Phase 6?
That to me seems like it leads to suggest that it's still a continuation when it ended on kind of it kind of tied it all up and said, "All right, well, goodbye. Go get him, Tiger." I guess would be the line for that. Yeah, you like that one? I don't know, because that is left. Like I said, left on the table is like you said, they don't know who Peter Parker is. I mean, I guess that's true. They still know who Spider-Man is, and you could do something with that. But then it would feel like you have to kind of redo it all over again. And I don't know if you really want to do that. I don't know.
Well, it would make sense if they did, though. I mean, think about it. Now Spider-Man is free from everything else. He doesn't have all the Iron Man money, so he's back to poor Peter Parker, right? He makes his own suit.
He doesn't have the rent.
And Venom is now in this world from when that little piece stayed, right?
That's
well,
I mean, the symbiote is. I'm still pissed.
Yeah,
I'm still
the
pissed.
symbiote.
Tom Hardy's gone.
Right. So, I mean, they kind of set it up to where they could. I swear I heard that they were going to do 3 more films. Maybe that was just speculation or something. I don't know. But like they were going to do like him in his college years or something. I can't remember. That could have just been a YouTube video I saw where they speculated.
And
but I don't know.
If he gets a symbiote and starts walking down the fucking streets of New York, just doing his thing, busting a move.
That's where. Wasn't it Secret Wars where Spider-Man got the symbiote? In the comic book?
I forget the comic book, but Connor just mentioned that in the chat. He said big rumors that Holland will return for Secret Wars, which is a possibility. But
I'm
but I don't know.
Sure that's
but like
where
I said,
symbiote.
Yeah, I don't know what the status of the deal is between Marvel and Sony about using Spider-Man right now. So I personally think they're going to work it out, and Spider-Man's going to be in the MCU for a while. But
Sony would be stupid not to.
Oh yeah, I think so.
They're not going to let it go.
How much money have they made being in the MCU? You know what I mean? They'd be dumb not to. Of course they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a possibility. You guys go down in the chat. Let us know what you guys think. I mean, another possibility, people have been clamoring for this for a long time now, and eventually I think a deal is going to get struck to where they can do this. But a Hulk standalone movie. I mean, if they manage to get a deal done with Sony to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, is it unheard? I mean, why haven't they managed to get some kind of a deal done with Universal to do a Hulk standalone movie?
What would you do at this point, though? Like
World War Hulk, easy.
Well, I mean, you could do World War Hulk. I mean, that would be a great way to bring the character back from what the Russo brothers have done to him. I mean, you could do a legit Planet Hulk thing. You could
have him completely snap. Yeah.
What was I thinking of? I just lost my train of thought. Shit, I don't know. I had a good idea in my head. I totally lost it.
You were talking about Hulk, like World War Hulk and
World War Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different things you could do with it. I mean, who's the one, the doctor I was talking about earlier that had Bruce's blood dripping into his head at the end in the Incredible Hulk, and then you never see him again? Stern. Dr. Stern, who becomes Brainiac, I think. Brainiac or something like that. But, I mean, you've always got him out there that you can go back and deal with. That'd be an interesting thing to see. So, I mean, it's not like you don't have at least one storyline that you could use for another Hulk film. I mean, really, the only question has been, why can't they get a deal done with Universal on the distribution rights? So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like Universal's making any Hulk movies or anything. I don't know. What the hell?
Maybe She-Hulk will set something up. I don't know.
Maybe it's possible, but the problem is if you set something up in She-Hulk, that means you're going to have to follow through with it within kind of a certain time frame. And if they don't have a Hulk standalone movie listed in Phase 5, I mean, really, I don't know. It'd be tough. It'd be tough, but I mean, you could do it. And maybe they've already got a bunch of stuff in the works that I have no clue about. So there's a possibility that they're already working on something. Maybe a deal's been struck, they just haven't announced it yet. That happens a lot too. But yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. It's out there making a Hulk standalone film. Real quick, we go into Armor Wars before I get to one of the other big ones I want to talk about. I mean, Armor Wars is something that I know he keeps getting pushed back by Marvel because there's other stuff they want to do. Do you think Armor Wars is going to be Disney Plus, or do you think it's going to be part of Phase 6? Tex, what do you think?
I thought that was a Disney Plus show that they were doing. Isn't that the way that it was announced?
I don't know. It keeps getting pushed. I mean, so much stuff kind of changes. I mean, because remember, when they made the big announcement for Phase 4, they had the Inhumans in there too. So, and that thing came and went.
Armor Wars. I mean, just as a title, it goes a lot better on a Disney Plus than it does a movie post. Because Armor Wars can be anything. You don't necessarily know it's an Iron Man Marvel thing. So I'd put it on Disney Plus as a show, and you could, bring back Justin Hammer, or, Rhodey, who I'm sure all those guys will be in it. I mean, where the hell has Trevor Potts been lately? You know what I mean? I'm sure
we got Ironheart coming, so
Ironheart. All of the what was the Russian Crimson Dynamo Iron Man bad guy from back in the comic books? He hasn't popped up yet, right? You can use somebody like that. There's all kinds of things.
There was fan art of Tony Stark's daughter being like another little Iron Man. I'm like, sure, I don't care.
Right, there you go. I mean, Iron Man is going to be weird without Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, he started all this. It's. I still think at some point he comes back, whether it's Secret Wars or this or that or whatever. He's going to make an appearance eventually, just like Chris Evans will. I don't think they're gone forever, but I would do a Disney Plus show of Armor Wars. It makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be perfectly honest. Also, something I think that they should do on Disney Plus, but they're probably going to make a movie out of it if they do it at all, is Young Avengers. Do you see them doing anything Young Avengers in Phase 6?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Well, we talked about
it. They've already laid work.
As I said, there's setup for it already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I fully expect that one.
We got what?
Well, I was going to say, Jeremy, do you think that would be a better movie or TV show? Because I personally think that lends itself to Disney Plus a lot more than it does the theater.
Yeah, maybe. I don't, because I think when we initially talked about it, it could be something that that could be the next setup. But then again, I don't know. That maybe makes more sense in the show because, I mean, honestly, most of them have been shown in shows, right? Like we got Wanda's kids, we got what's Ant-Man's Cassie?
Cassie Lang is actually going to be in a suit in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, so
right.
We're going to be getting her.
Cassie, we got
Hawkeye's daughter too.
Hawkeye's daughter, fucking Black Widow's sister, maybe. Because we got the Dark Avengers, maybe. Because I don't know what the hell Elaine is fucking doing.
A lot of people have been saying that's what she's putting together as the Thunderbolts, not the Young Avengers, but the Thunderbolts.
Or the Dark Avengers, I think is what I thought it was. That could be true because she's like, oh, look at that, got another one. I was like, what are you doing? Like what? And who else is out there? America Chavez. You said her too.
Something to look for in this She-Hulk series. When it's all over, if there's a post-credit scene after the last episode, if Elaine shows up to pick up Blonsky and say, hey, you want to come be a part of my thing, then I'm pretty sure that she's putting together the Thunderbolts. I feel like that's where they're going with her. Because I've already seen a lot of concept art with Yelena, with Blonsky in his hulked out mutant form, whatever, and with Walmart Captain America. What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about U.S. Agent?
Yeah, U.S. Agent.
That's what
I've already seen a lot of concept art with those three kind of standing with other Thunderbolts. So I feel like maybe that's where she's been going, and we're just now starting to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I could be wrong. Maybe she is putting together the Dark Avengers. I mean, because U.S. Agent and Yelena, whatever her Black Widow sister's name is, I mean, they would fit into that mold really, really perfectly for the Dark Avengers. So
yeah.
Did they kill off the Taskmaster character?
No, she's still
from
alive.
That Black Widow movie.
That's true.
No, she's still alive too, and I've heard that we're going to be seeing her again at some point down the line. I don't know exactly where, but I've heard that Marvel has plans for her.
She's still out there, yeah.
So it's a possibility. I don't know, but maybe the Young Avengers.
Also, wait, there's a big one. Where the hell is Vision?
That's but where would you put him into any of this stuff, though?
I don't care. Put him somewhere.
It's like I look at all the stuff that we know is coming up now, and the only thing I can see him being in is Avengers: Secret Wars. Yeah, I have no idea where he would fit in anywhere. I really thought that next time we saw Wanda, we were going to see him, and there was no mention of him, with the exception of 1 or 2 lines.
Like I said,
even if you had Doctor Strange.
Even if you had, like, when she went to that world where she saw the kids again, finally, even if, and it seemed like that Wanda was just, trying to be suburban mom with her kids, even if you had it, not as Vision, but just had Paul Bettany walk out, like, as the husband, be like, hey, what's going on in here? Or, hey, cut it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does. Fucking who cares? He does the 90s thing, but,
And then Uncle
just
Joey.
as a little joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, he's White Vision now, right? Or did he go back to being green?
It's the White Vision now.
Well, that's one of the questions, is when him and Vision had their little moment of contact in WandaVision in the final fight,
right,
did he actually download a piece of himself into White Vision that is going to grow into the Vision that we've known, or are we just going to get this blank version of Vision who is starting over again and trying to decide whether he wants to be friends with humanity or not?
It seemed like he kind of told him, like, look, they can't keep this from you. Like, he's like, there's things that it's maybe hidden to you. Like, you seem to have been programmed for a purpose. Because it seemed like they built... I mean, they had the actual Vision's body, right? And that's what they were working with to make this White Vision. And maybe it took this... I don't even know what that Vision is. Fucking the Hex Vision. I'll just call him that. He kind of just unlocked it for him in a weird way. So... Maybe it's Vision again, because he quite literally just, I guess, opened up his mind, and he kind of looked like he had that realization. And he was kind of like, "Hold on, I need to process this." Bye, and then
how long is it going to be? How long is it going to take for him to process? Because I mean, looking at all the stuff in Phase 5, I can't think of a whole lot of places where it jumps out at me that he would make an appearance. I feel like maybe Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are the only ones that really make sense off the top of my head. Maybe he pops into Fantastic Four. I mean, it'd be interesting to see him go back and forth with the intelligence of Reed Richards.
Wait, maybe in Agatha? Because that's where he took off from. He was over Westview. And he just
but we don't know what the Agatha series is going to bring, though. I mean, as far as we know, it's just going to be all flashbacks of her growing into the witch that she would become when she hits Westview.
Hopefully,
not that I wouldn't watch
it's real witchy.
Not that I wouldn't watch that show. I'm just saying that's what else we know is that Wanda left her there in the town still, just kind of, again, as her so-called character of the nosy neighbor. And I'm like, I feel like we're not done with her. And I mean, I don't think she would have just said like, well, if I need you, I know where to find you. I'm like, yeah, because there's more to them comic-wise. That's, like I said, they maybe Wanda kind of has like, oh crap, maybe you were right. I don't know what I was messing with, and she's gonna need her help at some point. This could again with her show now, and then this could culminate with the Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That'd be a good place for it. Maybe, I don't know, Vision could help out then. For fuck's sake, and put them together. Like, this is the thing where I'm like, oh my god, just give them that. Wanda didn't end up with anything. She got the worst deal of all deals.
Yeah, go down to the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Where do you think White Vision's going to pop up? I honestly, just looking at the slate of movies that has been officially announced, the only ones that make any sense to me are the 2 Avengers movies that are coming out at the end of Phase 6. I don't know where he would, logically, just because I can't think of it doesn't mean that there's no place that he can't pop up and be significant and you could start to explore his story more. But, I mean, the Avengers movies are the ones that make the most sense. Maybe Fantastic Four.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
What's up?
Armor Wars. Tony Stark created Vision, right?
No, Ultron created Vision. Tony Stark kind of repurposed him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's still a connection here either way. You could have this whole big armor war pop up, and Vision somehow plays into it, and Ironheart helps Vision undo the, things to his memories or something. I could see a connection in Armor Wars.
Mr. Marvel also
if it was going to be it.
Yeah.
Mr. Marvel also just said Wakanda. I'm like, well, he's made of vibranium, damn it. So maybe
there's ways.
Shuri probably does some little like clickety clacky on a fucking keyboard. Boom, done, fixed you. You're welcome.
Takes one of those magic beads and shoves him up his ass, and all of a sudden he's fixed at 100%.
Right. She had that one little missing piece. Like, wait, oh, got you, buddy. There you go. You know what? No. I swear, if she drops that line again when she was talking about Bucky, she goes, "Oh look, another broke white man for me to fix." I'm like, don't do that. That was funny. I was like, "Oh, damn you got me." That's why I'm always Team Shuri. I can't. She's hilarious.
I love Shuri.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there's one more I want to bring up, and I mean, we know it's coming soon. We're to the point. They've already dropped the hint at the end of Miss Marvel. X-Men. I mean, Jeremy, what do you think of the possibility of us seeing X-Men in Phase 6?
Ooh, Phase 6. Well, we got a lot of setup to do. There are quite a number of X-Men. And one whose neck you snapped. But whatever.
But we're not going to get... I don't think we're going to see Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier.
I know, because then I said, well, what about...
obviously his last go-around.
I know, but I said, like, what about, McAvoy? Maybe put him back in there?
I don't think they're...
He's good.
You know what?
I like him.
I've heard that McAvoy has unofficially met with Feige. But I don't necessarily know that... I don't necessarily think that means that they're offering him any role. They may be talking to him saying, look, we don't really want to bring back any of the Marvel characters. We kind of want to start fresh and do our own thing. Let me pick your brain as a professional courtesy about how you played it. Maybe somebody you think that you're close to or have worked with that you think that could take on the role of a young-ish Charles Xavier. Maybe somebody in their 40s that can stick around and do this thing for a while. Maybe. I don't think... I honestly, with the exception of maybe Hugh Jackman, because of his tremendous popularity with the character, I don't think they're bringing anybody from the Fox stuff over to this new iteration of X-Men. Not a single person.
Like actor-wise, you mean?
Like actor-wise, yeah.
Oh, no, I wouldn't expect that. No. I mean, like, that's what I was saying. There's a lot of there's a lot of setup to put these characters in here again, or a lot of these X-Men. Like we were talking about Storm. I'm like, well, yeah, we're not going to go out and fucking phone up Halle Berry and be like, hey, you want to do this again? Like, no. There's some setup there, but I mean, shit. I know it's only a few years away, but Phase 6, you got some time. So, that groundwork's already been laid. You played those couple little notes, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is we have now put our first step onto that path with that little bit of dialogue from Miss Marvel. So, there's no stopping now. Yeah, there's no stopping now. Honestly, I pay attention. September's a long way away. I may try to get some kind of a live stream together for all 3 days of Disney Plus. Because I have a feeling there's going to be so much shit there, and because not just Marvel. I mean, obviously it's going to be Disney. So there's going to be some Star Wars stuff. There's going to be some like Pixar stuff probably. So there's going to be plenty to talk about. But I mean, the Marvel stuff alone is going to be huge. So I need to figure out what the schedule is, and then maybe I'll try to do at least one of the days, maybe the last day. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be some serious bombs. I don't know. Before we start to close up, I mean, Jeremy, what do you think are any other properties that could pop up in Phase 6 that we didn't already mention?
Well, I mean, I guess that we didn't already mention. I can't think of a whole lot. I mean, we're pulling out all the stops, and I even just totally regressed the fact that, like, damn it, Vision is still out there, and it's bugging the shit out of me. It's right there, man. Damn. I don't know. Not a whole lot more I really could add. I mean, unless we start scraping the bottom of the barrel, really. No?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, we've gone through a lot of them. I mean, there could be some I didn't think of the list. I mean, Tex, what do you think? Anything jumps out at you that we didn't mention already that you think is a possibility for Phase 6?
Well, I think we've pretty well covered what we do know, or I kind of stayed, pretty safe in the speculations. But I'll give you the 3 projects that I want to see more than anything. That would be a Ghost Rider. Give me a Doctor Doom solo film. A Doctor Doom solo film to explain how he got to where he was in Latveria and tell that whole story. Because he's a huge character. One of the best in Marvel. and I would love to see the Werewolf by Night. It was supposed to be announced for a Halloween thing, and then I haven't heard any more about it. So something in there about this, because if we're doing Blade, then with vampires, why can't we do werewolves as well? You know, kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So,
and Marvel Comics have done some pretty cool horror titles. So I mean, and Marvel can do PG-13 horror and make it pretty cool. I mean, Blade, I want to see rated R, but it's like you can do stuff like Werewolf by Night and stuff. I mean, because honestly, there's some horror elements in Moon Knight. Yeah. And they did that very PG-13, and I think while Moon Knight did not quite hit the way I wanted it to, I still thought it was very good. So they could branch off and do some more horror stuff, which I think would be really interesting.
There's stuff they can do. I don't know.
We are getting Fantastic Four, right? So we could do Doctor Doom.
Well, the question is Doctor Doom going to be his own thing?
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, I mean, if you're going to introduce Namor in Black Panther 2 as the villain, why can't you do the same thing with Doctor Doom? Have him start off and then you go back and you tell his story or whatever. I mean, he's an interesting character that would sell a lot of movie tickets, and he's an Avenger level threat. So why would you not focus on?
There's someone else who I just thought of. I'm like, wait, at the end of Love and Thunder, I'm like, wait, we just saw it said Thor's going to return. I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going to leave Christian Bale's daughter there with Thor and not say something about that. Like, are they going to do something? Is she going to be
Hercules? Hercules, too.
And the Hercules thing, that's what I was, that could go somewhere.
I forgot about him.
I don't think he'll get his own movie though.
No, I think it's going to be because they said Thor will return. It might be another Thor movie or something where they get into a tussle and something. I'm assuming that his now like surrogate daughter is going to be a part of it. That could also be another Young Avenger. Who fucking knows? I don't know.
True. I've got one I've been wanting for a long, long time now, and damn it, I think now that Marvel is in the position that it's in with the story, the way they're putting things together, I think it'll be a perfect time. I want to see a standalone Howard the Duck film, damn it.
Whatever, man.
I've been saying it since
I made that joke.
Look, I have been saying it since I first saw him in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I was like, look, the Howard the Duck film that George Lucas did back in 1980, whatever, was awful. I mean, it's so awful that it's good.
Yes,
it's that kind of awful. My 12-year-old self loved it, but now I look at it and I'm like, God, that's terrible. But I can't take my eyes off it. I would love to see Kevin Feige just say, you know what? Let's spend $100 million. Let's make a Howard the Duck film. You don't have to make him an Avenger. He doesn't have to be around to fight any of the big bad guys. It was a very geeky Easter egg just to have him for that half second of film in the final battle of Endgame. It was just because everybody was there, so why not have Howard the Duck in there with a blaster? So
is that everyone?
Right. Is that everyone? Yeah, we got Howard the Duck here. How many more people do you want? Damn it! It's like, but just a funny movie that kind of shows how he ended up being. I mean, because look, we already know that like him
and right there.
Here we go. We already have like Rocket Raccoon and him. We're supposed to be getting a little bit more of the background of Rocket Raccoon and how he became in this the volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy. Why not have a movie where it's just fun, or we dick around with Howard the Duck? Now, the movie might not make $1 billion, but as long as you don't spend $250 million making it, spend $100 million. It's going to make money. It's going to be fun. And he could be like your kind of version of Deadpool that you have creative control over all the way. Like, because he's kind of crude and crass and things like that. It was very G-rated, that movie that came out in the 80s with George Lucas. There was some adult themes to it for sure. And there was a lot of double entendre and stuff like that. But
Didn't a woman have sex with
I'm like, she fucked that duck, man.
Well, I don't.
Marty McFly's mom done screwed that duck.
I don't think they did anything in the movie after the movie.
No, but you know damn well we know what's going on. The kids don't know, but we know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure after the movie he was like, "I like your pussy, put it on my bill." It's like. but
bitch, the feathers are gonna fly.
But yeah,
line of the episode right there. Folks.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Why not fuck around with that Howard the Duck movie? Would it be all that terrible? Like I say, you don't have to give him his own trilogy. You don't have to make him one of the Avengers. Just a one-off movie for some fun. Let some young up-and-coming director who you like, but you're not ready to give him like a full-on Avengers movie or one of the main character films. Find a young director that you like, Kevin Feige, and say, you know what? I kind of want this done. We're going to give you a cheap MCU movie that we're not going to take seriously. It's probably going to be a one-off. It's not really going to affect anything. Don't even put like a post-credit scene. Put post-credit scenes after it that are funny, but don't put any post-credit scenes after it that affect the larger MCU. Just have fun with it. I would love to see a new Howard the Duck movie.
I mean, you know what? He was also in What If, right? So I mean, we've already established that we've seen people from What If on these big screen movies, like we had Captain Carter. So.
And a lot of the stuff from What If has since been put in the movies. I mean,
so we could
Captain Carter, like all kinds of shit. So
with like the Eternals, like I'm saying, I'm waiting with this multiverse shit.
We got a version of Zombie Strange in Multiverse of Madness.
That's the one thing I wanted was the Marvel zombies. Give me some live action Marvel zombies. That's what I want.
Oh, we're getting that. We're not getting live action. They're actually doing a Marvel Zombies animated film. That's one of the things that came out at Comic-Con as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be really cool to do like a one-off. I know it's just not going to happen because everything's in the works. But like a live action zombie apocalypse superhero film, like human-wise, I think that'd be badass.
I say, if we got big shit like the Eternals, I've been waiting. I'm like, please, if you're gonna keep integrating this What If stuff, like I want to see the Watcher just once. Like,
yeah, he could be at some point.
With this multiverse shit about to pop off, like I want the Watcher to pop up and be like, okay, everybody, hold the hell on.
He's like, hold up. He's like, hold up. I've been watching this shit for an eon now, and I don't even know where the hell White Vision went.
I've seen every possibility and everything that's ever happened, but I haven't seen Vision.
That's hilarious.
He'll still break his vow and he'll help out and make those weird What If Avengers. So.
Break his vow just to nudge White Vision off in front of where everything's
Hang
going.
on.
Like, here,
I thought Stan Lee was the Watcher in this universe.
Who was?
What?
I thought Stan Lee played the Watcher. That's why he was in every film.
No, he was in front of the Watchers. The three giant-headed people that he's talking to, they're the Watchers. And he's the one explaining to them what he's seen and where he's been and stuff like that. That's what that scene is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
And he needed to ride home. So.
Yeah. But that seems like a good place to start wrapping things up. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll now. Thank you to the 14 of you who voted. Looks like 71% of you said yes, that you think Henry Cavill will return as Superman, while 29% of you said no. Honestly, I think at this point it's 50-50. Like I said, pay attention mid-September. I really think that if they couldn't announce it at Comic-Con for the reasons that I've heard, that they couldn't roll Henry Cavill out there because he had COVID, that they're probably going to put it out there sometime just after D23 and take away some of the thunder from the Marvel stuff. That's what I would do. Be a ballsy move. I don't think they're going to do it. Be a ballsy move, and I would look at DC and be like, good show, guys, good show. That was a good move. And it could be happening. Like I said, I think DC's in pretty good footing now moving forward, especially with Alan Horn there running the show now. But, thank you to all of those of you who voted. 71% said yes, 28% said no. And that's going to wrap things up for us. I think we've had plenty of talk about everything that went on at Comic-Con, at least the most significant stuff. There was a lot of panels there that, I'm sure they would have been interesting to watch. I know Kevin Smith had a panel there where he talked about Clerks 3 and some of his stuff. I'm sure me and Jeremy would have loved to have sat and listened to Kevin Smith drone on endlessly about the View Askew-universe, but unfortunately we were not at Comic-Con this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Maybe any year in my life. I would love to.
I want to go to Comic-Con at least one time. Just one time.
I want to go to the Holy Grail, man. Yeah.
I've heard it's a train wreck to deal with. I've already heard some of the horror stories from dealing with Comic-Con this year. I knew this year was going to be... I had a feeling this year was going to be bigger than most because, we didn't have it year before last because of COVID. Last year was a very subdued Comic-Con because they were still dealing with pandemic stuff. This year they went balls out. And so I have a feeling... I understood why this year was kind of bigger than most. But yeah, it's definitely an adventure to go to Comic-Con from what I've heard. And this year was no different. So maybe one of these days.
It is.
But until then... I want to say thank you to my awesome co-host for coming in and having all this amazing conversation with me, like my good friend, my hetero life mate, Jeremy. Jeremy, where can the folks at home find you on the internet?
Well, I'll keep doing my Spaceballs bit. I'm here. You're looking at now. What's happening now is happening here and now. I'm on... I know. We talk movies here. We have fun. So on this channel, on Thursdays, I'm always here. Very rarely I won't be. Whenever this comes up on a Monday or whatever the hell anymore. Or whenever the internet gods decide to give us, the power to do so. Also, over on Twitch, again, same name. I'm assuming the link is down there at the bottom. It's Grim Tuesday 23. We're still just kind of trekking through, Star Wars. Well, hold on. Wait, I got you. Hold on. Let me fix that. Lego Star Wars. That's better. Got Han. Yeah. If anyone who I know, none of the 15 of you saw it. Well, actually, one of you did. I got a little heated because fuck The Last Jedi, fuck Canto Bight, and I never want to do that shit ever again. But if you want to know what I'm talking about, come check it out on Tuesdays, usually around 6 o'clock. Doing stuff with Brooding Gamer. This is just a matter of stuff coming in from Amazon at this point. So we're got some ideas in the pipe to put out there on the what would you call YouTube? It's not the big screen. It's the mid screen, I guess. It's not small screen either. I don't know.
Bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, Brooding Gamer, and that's pretty much it. I'm also on Twitter. That's probably the best place to find stuff when I'm not complaining about stupid real life work things. Look, the shit pisses me off, and I put it out there into the airwaves of the internet. I don't know. No one's listening to me anyway. But if you want to listen to me, go follow me there. That's where most of the stuff gets, that's the best place to find an update. Hit the like button, the bells, the hearts, the stars, hashtags, whatever the hell anymore. I don't know what you kids do anymore. I'm getting old and cynical, turning 30, okay? So,
we get you a shirt made that says "Get off my lawn."
If you give me that for my 30th birthday, I'd be so tickled. Give me a cane or something. I'm gonna wave it at kids too. Like, yeah.
I get you a lightsaber.
You give me a lightsaber.
My lawn. It's a wave it around. Get off my lawn.
Oh, it's gonna be in the middle of the damn night. You're just gonna hear it, just like Darth Vader at the end of the hallway. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the hood down like Darth fucking Maul and be like, all right.
Let's do this thing.
Alexa, play Dual Mates.
And of course, our good friend from the Lone Star State, the Shape, the one you will come across if you do anything wrong in the state of Texas. My man Tex. What do you got going on the internet, my friend?
My regular spooky things, talking the newest horror, old horror, which movies I may be watching. You can get all that on @SlasherVision on Twitter. I also happen to pop up on the Derailed News and Podcast Network with Frank there as well. Off the reels on the Patreon. It's only $1 a month, and we're talking the Saw movies and some interesting stuff coming up as we get closer to the spooky season of October and Halloween and all that. So, other than that, I'll be here now and then. So, I was happy to fill in for Cora. Shout out to her. So, hope you're resting and doing well. So, about it.
Yes, definitely a shout out to Cora, who's usually with us reading all the lead-ins tonight. But she did have some stuff going on. She said she was kind of tired and wanted to take the night off. But that's cool. We had text to fill in. As for me, you can find me here every Thursday with my co-host going over all the crazy stuff going on in the world of TV and entertainment. Again, a whole lot to go into. I feel bad that we didn't have any really horror topics to talk about tonight. I still haven't had a chance to see Nope yet. But I've got my two horror experts here, and I didn't really have any horror topics to go into.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
I'm surprised at some of the things that I've heard about the movie, but I still want to go see it. So Jordan Peele's done some good things horror-wise, and I want to give it a shot. So I'll go see it eventually. This week was kind of a bad week to go see movies.
Yeah.
But
visually stunning, boring as hell.
Really?
That's the easiest way.
Weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. But you can find me here every Thursday going over all the news that's happening in the world of entertainment television. You can find me on Sundays over on the Derailed News and Podcast channel, 9 o'clock Central, talking about all the other crazy news going on around the world. And as for me, that's pretty much what I got going on. I don't know what Drew's got planned for Sunday. Probably some other stuff going on. I did send him a story earlier I thought was kind of funny. There's going to be a shortage of Halloween candy this year because of whatever. No, they're probably blaming COVID. They're probably blaming COVID and Russia or something like that. And yes, JSP, you reminded me. Thank you very much. Tony Dow passed away. Did you guys hear about this? A couple of days ago.
Nope.
Okay, first off, Tex, I know you know who Tony Dow is. You probably know. Jeremy, do you know who Tony Dow is?
I'm terrible with names.
Tony Dow played Wally Cleaver, the older brother of Beaver Cleaver on the 60s television show.
Yeah.
Oh, no, for real?
So here's what happened with Tony Dow. A couple of days ago, it came out that he died. His representatives put something out on Twitter saying that he passed away. He's been fighting cancer for the last couple of years, I believe. It turns out that he was not dead. He was actually just in hospice care, but was, the way his family put it, in his final hours. And then eventually yesterday, he unfortunately did pass away. He did succumb to cancer. So rest in peace, Tony Dow. Another show that I watched in syndication when I was young, because my dad grew up watching the show, and it was still in syndication when I was a kid, was Leave It to Beaver. So that was that was definitely a bit of a blow, too. So yeah, we lost a couple of people last week. Dude, this has been another weird celebrity death year. Yeah. It's just been odd. It's like it almost could be like an entire podcast in and of itself, just people we've lost in the last 6 months. Maybe that's something we'll do. I don't know. It's been a
in memoriam podcast.
Yeah, it's been a tough year to be an old famous person in Hollywood. But yeah, rest in peace to Tony Dow as well. Thank you, JSP, for reminding me of that. I meant to bring that up after we talked about Paul Sorvino earlier, but I had such problems getting the stream going for some reason, it just kind of got pushed out of my head. So thank you, JSP, for reminding me of that. Also, somebody mentioned in the chat, David Warner passed away a couple of days ago. For those of you who don't know David Warner, did you have Tex? You've probably seen Tron, the original. Jeremy, I know you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
David Warner was the scientist in the first Ninja Turtles movie that came out in like '88. He was that scientist.
Yeah.
He also played the bad guy in Tron, the first Tron movie with Jeff Bridges.
I didn't know the
Why am
guy
I
from
drawing
Tron
a
was
blank on his name?
Wait a minute.
Boxleitner. Bruce Boxleitner is the one who played Tron, but the guy who played like the main bad guy, that was David Warner.
Okay.
He was. He was also the first thing that comes up on mine. Google is Titanic. Yeah, he was the dude that was like the valet / they thought he was a cop dude who was to what's his damn name? Who played her fiance? Fuck.
Fuck. Why am I drawing a blank on the guy's name?
Billy Zane.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. How do I forget Billy Zane's name?
Right. I know. I feel bad, man. Shit.
Great actor.
Don't come kick my ass either. Yeah, he was that guy.
Billy Zane.
Yeah, he was the guy that the older guy that was kind of like his right hand guy or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, JSP, for reminding me of that. I meant to mention that earlier, and I just drew a blank. But thank you guys very much for coming to hang out with us tonight. Thank you to my amazing co-hosts. Next week, I'm sure Lady Cora will be back, and we'll have all kinds of other stuff to talk about. Until then, we will see you guys later. And don't forget, life is hard. After all, it kills you, in the immortal words of Katharine Hepburn. So enjoy life while you got it, folks. See you guys.